Crossover. Oh, killer crossover.
Just crossover.
It just crossed him over nastily.
Another victim to the crossovers. Cross him up and sit him down.
All right, crossover is brought to you by Everlow Concrete Repair in Omaha at everlowconcrete.com. Happy Football Friday.
Oh, yeah.
Feels like fall outside.
Oh, yes, it does. Yes, it does. The clear sky. Everything is right with the world. A little warm in the afternoon.
Yeah.
For mid-October.
It's very Midwestern this time of the year. You get the AC and the heater in the same day.
Yeah,
I'm experiencing that.
We had it off for a few days, just like straight up off. And my wife made the executive decision to turn it back on yesterday during the day. Then I said, let's turn it off again, and we'll probably have to turn it on again. But once you turn it off, you'll really like to just keep it off for a little while.
It's that nice crisp air.
Oh, it's beautiful.
More to the house.
It is beautiful.
Yes.
Very excited. How are you, Matt?
I'm stuffy. I'm like getting kind of sick right now.
Allergies.
Yeah.
Watch out for the ragweed.
What? I like damp weather. Why are you? That was funny, but it's the truth. I like it when it's a little wet out.
Some dampness.
Sure. A little bit of drizzle in the air.
And dampness.
Then like I've always felt like I've caught my biggest fish when it's damp out. It's really good fishing weather. So I just kind of I harken back to the memories of catching big fish when it's damp out.
Okay.
So I like dampness, but it's not good for my allergies because now I'm super stuffy and I'm getting like a little bit of a headache.
Well, it's not damp right now. It's actually quite dry.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't know. See, I'm just loopy right now. I'm just sick.
Okay. All right.
I know.
Well, you might get that tightened up.
I know. I got to get locked in. I gotta have an emergency when I get home. I've been living off of that. I'm getting to the point though. I probably should start taking like supplements and whatnot. Like magnesium, fish oil, and all those other things.
You'll be okay.
You think I'm okay?
Yeah.
How old do you think I have to be to get there?
I don't think you need.
Do you take supplements?
No.
You don't. You're just raw.
Every time I feel anything, I take an ibuprofen or take like 3 ibuprofens.
I took 2 this morning because I had slight neck pain from my night of sleep.
I didn't start taking Advil until like 2 years ago.
Yeah, I don't really do medicine.
Yeah,
like that. I shouldn't say that. That's not true. But like
you're Connor Happer, all natural.
Yeah. Maybe I should take some more preemptive strikes against with my work with my immune system a little bit.
Just load up on the medicine before you need it.
Right. Yeah. Every once in a while, like you'd be like, oh, I could feel it. Something's about to start happening. And then you take a preemptive, strike or something like that, whatever it might be. But no, we're good. We play it minute to minute, hour to hour.
You day to day.
Day to day.
Connor Happer, constantly day to day.
Yeah.
You're like Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah. No. He's never available.
Everybody is day to day on the report.
Yeah. Everybody is day to day on the report, but Kawhi is out.
And so is Josh Hodson.
Josh Hodson also out.
Josh Hodson, the Kawhi Leonard of the show today.
He's, of course, been instructed to not tweet out selfies of himself anymore going on to the PJ, but
why?
We know he's there.
Why?
I don't know. It's quite frivolous.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's quite frivolous.
If I was on a private jet, everybody would know about it.
Right. But then you might get instructed to not, because it's so frivolous.
No, God, no. I'd be like, I don't care. I'm never going to be here again.
Well, he's got to go again. This is like the 3rd or 4th time he's done that.
Have you been on a
trip?
Have you?
Snow.
Never.
That's a great atmosphere.
Never have I private or chartered.
Wow.
I know. One day.
Soon.
You're getting there.
I went on the one road trip last year with Creighton where we flew commercial, which was great.
You'll get there one day, kid.
Thank you, Matt.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it.
You got a lot of stuff. All right. I think you're going to make it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I hope so. I hope that's the case.
You know who does not fly commercial or fly a private? They fly commercial. Your Savannah Bananas.
Really?
Yeah.
They fly like Southwest to their locations.
I think they have an airline sponsor, but most of those guys fly.
Smart. Good idea.
Yeah. Some of them will go home like after their appearance
for
a weekend, and then they'll fly to the next, or I think then they fly back to Savannah or wherever. But a lot of them fly commercial.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I think they might be on a bus.
How many games do they actually play in Savannah?
So part of when they bought the team, they wanted to keep it in Savannah. I think they play maybe 10 to 12 games a year there.
Good for them.
And it's like,
is that a bucket list? Like you want to see the Savannah Bananas in Savannah?
I don't know. The ballpark isn't the greatest. Like they put a lot of money into it, but it's not like it's it's a old minor league stadium,
Yep.
and they do things differently there. Like the food is free, and I think they limit the tickets to the locals.
Sure.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
But they
Their
still have a
tickets are
home.
special. They're unlike any other ticket.
Are you going to the Savannah Bananas?
No, it's the
period?
first Saturday of the College World Series.
I'm aware. I know.
Absolutely not.
I know. So will we go to Haymarket Park then?
I don't think so. I don't
You
know.
don't want to go?
What the was it? But at Haymarket
You gotta
Park,
see
it's
it
going to
once.
be what, the Cowboys versus the Clowns?
No, it's going to be the Bananas.
oh, Bananas at
Oh.
Haymarket.
I think that's the Bananas are going to play
Yeah,
at Haymarket.
yeah.
Okay.
On,
'Cause
on Thursday, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I
They'll-
guess that's before the
So
World
I mean,
Series
they
starts.
might. They're probably going to sell out Memorial Stadium, but I think they'll have trouble selling out Haymarket.
It'll be like the 2005 Super Regionals in there. It'll be loaded. God, what a time! What a time that was. 8,000 people at Haymarket Park. The berms are packed to the gills.
Yes, and the two rosters were loaded.
Yeah. Oh yeah. What a time that was. Miami came to town. It was awesome. It was awesome.
I bet it was.
Jabba Chamberlain, Alex Gordon.
Yeah, I know those guys.
Yeah. They will almost certainly be involved in the Savannah Bananas festivities as well.
I want K.
Maybe they should just do that. They should try and recreate the 2005 Super Regional. They should have an all-star team of 05 Nebraska and 05 Miami and have them play against the Bananas.
It'd be good.
Now we're talking.
Now that's your type. You just want to see a bunch of old men trot into the field and be shells
and
of
Alex-
themselves.
better than the
Alex-
fireman.
And Alex Gordon gets thrown out of the game.
Alex Gordon gets thrown out of the game. Yeah, this is all great. Get Andy Gertz back.
God, that team. How did they? Friggin' Arizona State.
Yeah, Jeff Larish. Jeff Larish. We'll never forget the name Jeff Larish.
I think, yeah, like, everywhere they go, they have either a former baseball player. So Erstad, Jabba.
Yeah.
Gordon's already done Kansas City. So
Oh yeah, but he's got to be in there.
I would think so.
He's got to be in there.
I want K-Say.
Casey. Oh, that's interesting.
I want K-Say.
Casey Tillman.
Just have him pop out of nowhere. I don't know. Just like create a little K-Say elevator and just hide him. No one knows he's here, and then all of a sudden K-Say just pops out. And it's like,
Crowd-
oh, it's K-Say.
Crowd goes wild.
Would the crowd not go insane if K-Say Tominaga was in the Savannah Bananas uniform and maybe he brought Stephen Curry?
So I don't know what they've done. I don't know what they've done at the other college football spots. Like, do they bring out the college football players they used to play at those places?
What do they do at Clemson?
Yeah, I have no idea. Other than dancing.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say they brought up a guy from Dancing with the Stars one time,
Yeah.
Derek Huff.
Yeah,
He's a 4-time Mary Globe winner.
Adam Devine will certainly be there.
No, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Why are you
No, he doesn't
anti-Adam?
okay, we're done.
What do you got against Cap?
He got his opportunity to come to the middle of Memorial Stadium and crank the horn
Adam Devine is going to be
That's your
all
one trip
up
into Memorial
in
Stadium
that thing.
in the calendar year.
I'm sorry, I'm immature when you say crank the horn.
Crank the horn.
Crank the horn.
What's
Is
so
that-
bad about that?
Is that lingo for something else?
No, not at all. Not remotely.
Twitch commenter says,
Hey, we need somebody to crank the horn this week. Get him on the line.
"How about Brant Banks? Get him to play a third sport."
Now that would be. But here's the thing.
The basketball and football legend.
You can't laugh at me with K-Say and then get excited for Brant Banks.
Brant Banks, Noah Vedral, get them both in there.
Two-sport star in Nebraska.
He's not a two-sport star.
He certainly
did he
was.
not-
He
did he not-
happened to play two sports.
He played in quite possibly the most famous Nebraska ball game of all time.
Yes, next to the crown.
the coffin game.
Yes, the Fred might die tonight game.
You think the Fred might
Next
die?
labeled like that in the media guide.
Yeah. The last time these two teams played, Fred Hoiberg almost died.
And then you put the picture of Armand Gates just hammering the hand sanitizer right next to him on the bench.
Hey, what if for like the firefighters, they have like the arch enemies of Nebraska sports? Like Luke McCaffrey is actually on the firefighters.
Why is he an enemy? He's a friend.
Okay, so I'll take.
He
it
wear
back.
the scarlet and the cream.
But Cade Warner.
No, he's good. Kate is good. Once
Well,
a
maybe
Husker,
bring his
always a
dad.
Husker.
Okay, so bring their dads.
Okay, there we go.
Okay.
Ed McCaffrey would be quite the villain.
Yeah.
Be quite the villain.
The Jaravicious, the Caroline Jaravicious's dad, is he mad at us?
All right, so who would you
Yeah,
bring
they did
out?
have a great run of like
former
football
players.
whose sons or daughters were playing at Nebraska.
They did.
Hey, Matt
yes.
Damon. We can have Matt Damon on the firefighter team.
Not an enemy, a friend of the university. I would say that you send an open invite out to anyone who's played running back at Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And they could be on the firefighters.
Monty Ball,
Melvin Gordon, Jonathan Taylor. Yeah. Anybody who's played running back at Wisconsin, you could play for the firefighters in Lincoln for sure.
What about Keith Duncan?
Keith Duncan, blowing kisses.
How about Ethan Kelly?
He
of
comes
Bananas?
out, he starts blowing kisses to everybody.
Now,
Kirk
that
Ferentz
would
is
be
their coach.
great.
Yeah.
Say Ethan Kelly McManus.
Ethan Galick-Manis, he probably killed Nebraska once or twice.
He did twice.
Yeah.
He was He was the backup for Tanner Morgan that first time, and they won. And then he was the starter for the 2023 game, and they won. He's beaten them twice. And then wasn't he on the
Rutgers? Lost at Rutgers.
And he lost Rutgers last year. He's played Nebraska like 5 times.
In win game part 1. Hot wind part 1. Hot win part 2.
14-7. Are you really surprised there were that many points?
Yeah.
When you think about that game last year.
Then they had hot win part 2 and it was 38-27.
I know.
That's progression.
That shows growth in Nebraska football.
Exactly.
Deacon Hill.
Get some Oklahoma guys from the past.
Yeah. What about William Floyd from Florida State?
Excellent idea. Excellent idea. Yes. Byron Bennett could play on the other team.
Well, I mean,
Baylor Shireman.
Baylor Shireman. Is he a friend of the program?
No, he's the opposite.
Well,
he blew kisses.
He's from Aurora.
And he played for the wrong team.
He broke up with one of ours.
Yes,
but he was with her at one point.
He was, and she's already moved on.
Yeah,
she's now in a long distance.
I know.
Relationship.
Yeah, the guy. He's a USA volleyball dude. Guy's a stud.
Okay. All right.
She had her first beach volleyball tournament, I think, yesterday.
This guy wandered into creepiness.
What do you mean wandered into creepiness? I keep up with Allie Bainhorst.
Yeah. Okay. We get some Creighton guys. Get some Creighton guys going in there. Austin Chapman probably be happy to play.
Grant Gibbs,
but
he might be a little bit busy in the NBA.
But like Nebraska fans always say about Kalkbrenner, like he's nothing.
Oh, sure. So,
but okay, hold on here. This is changing from the Bananas. Like from the Creighton perspective, they don't want to talk about Nebraska basketball. Just judging off you, who is the most hated Nebraska ball player in the Creighton fan base?
Derek Walker.
Oh God.
Because this might show the lack of success by Nebraska.
Yeah, I don't think there's
no one
ever been an individual player who's like, damn, we just can't stop that guy.
Or they hate him because of his personality. What did his
Petaway? I mean,
Petaway
with Gibbs, that would probably be it.
And Gibbs would probably be the one for Nebraska.
Yeah, you could have them meet at home plate before the game and exchange lineups.
Or we just have Canelo Crawford too instead of the Savannah Bananas.
Great idea. Canelo could play for the Fireman.
Yes.
So let's do the math. If Bud fights again, this is the middle of June. What about Bud in a Savannah Bananas uniform?
That seems likely.
Look, I mean, probably. I'm never gonna say I'm gonna.
I'm at my quota Memorial Stadium.
I was gonna say I'm not gonna say that like I'm budded out.
You're over budded.
I don't think because I love Bud. I think Bud's awesome. But at some point we gotta find other athletes.
We're talking about next June. You're
over Bud.
You'll be long.
I'm not. No. I'm not saying that. I'm saying
next
that
June,
we just need some more athletes. To come. How about Jake Myers?
No.
Well,
Jake Myers should come back.
It might be tough. Bob Gibson won't be able to make it.
No, he will not. By next June, Matt, you'll be thinking to yourself,
man,
I miss Bud. And then he'll show up at the Savannah Bananas game.
I'm not saying I love Bud. I think Bud's great. It's just we need a little more athletes is all I'm saying.
Well, it's 1.8 million. It's what we got.
Yeah.
It's difficult.
Just a couple more.
Just one happens to be the best.
Now, if they would like to be, if they would like to include, great Nebraska athletes who didn't play for
Do you know who's going to be in a
Nebraska,
Savannah Bananas uniform? This is easy. Jordy Ball. Jordy will be there.
Jordy Ball will definitely be
there. Yeah.
Jordy Ball will definitely be there.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
So what will it do to the attendance on day 2?
Yeah, I was thinking about that last. I don't think anything.
But it's a once in a lifetime.
I'm wondering if there will be
locals will go. People that are coming to town for the College World Series are going to the College World Series. They're not going to drive down to Lincoln.
Exactly.
Unless their team's not playing.
So
but by then the tickets are going to be all
gone.
sold out.
So I was going to ask you this. Do you think that if you're somebody like right now, you're like, all right, I'm for sure going to the College World Series. Like I'm just going. It doesn't matter if my team's there or not. You would enter into this and just be like, we'll miss the games on day
If
2.
you're interested.
Yeah. But I
because
don't
you have to see it once in person. Once you, it's very entertaining. I mean, it's a sight to behold. But I don't know that I want to. I will go to the Haymarket Park game. We can't go to Memorial Stadium. I don't know that I would go like multiple times. But you have to go once to just see it because it's a hell of a show.
I feel like I've seen it.
Yeah. I think I'm kind
You
of
got to see it in person.
I think I'm kind of on Happer's team. Like I respect the hell out of it. I think it's so cool, and I think what they've done is incredible. And the fact that they're making a league and it's so popular, great. It's just not my cup of tea, you know.
Not your cup of tea.
I got to see it once in person.
Doesn't matter. You'll be at the College World Series anyway.
Yeah,
You'll probably do part of a
Talk-
pregame show, and you'll have to bring up the bananas.
You will. You'll probably get a banana on your show.
Ooh,
There will be a banana that I just
banana appearance.
I am wondering if there's any like if there will be any connection, but if there
I don't know.
will if they will work with each other at all.
Well, I think they tried to get in. Like, you remember they were here
Yes.
during the College World Series?
Yes.
I don't know what happened.
Well, I would assume that they can only do one, and
Oh, I don't. I think they could do both venues.
Yeah, I don't think they would do Lincoln and Omaha.
You don't think they do
Yeah, and I
Lincoln and
think
Omaha?
Kyle Perry was probably like, we got to play in the stadium.
I think you probably do both. But I mean, you guys know more about this stuff than I do.
Well, I think Mecca tried, right, and
Yeah,
they just
both put in.
I mean, obviously, you couldn't do it on the same weekend. Like,
Like to happen would be for the media that when they configure the field, they let the media come down there and take some BP because we'll have a short porch. Can you imagine?
Oh yeah, what are they
trying
going to do?
Let's say the home plate is in the what would it be, the northwest corner?
Yes, the old
So-
tunnel.
Yes. So the short porch. Can you
Is-
imagine trying to hit one out of Memorial Stadium?
I don't think that you could get it up and out of Memorial Stadium.
there's no way you can get it up and out of Memorial.
I guess it's not that far back.
It's
You'd
kind
have to hit
kinda
up
straight up.
You'd have to hit it really high.
There's
I wonder
no
what the
way.
distance would be. I don't know. I wonder what the
Guys,
distance would be.
it'd be at least 460.
Well, people have hit it
470.
460 before.
That high though, like you would have to hit. I'm talking 460 to the seats, not let alone getting it high enough that it goes over and
Yeah,
out.
probably not. That was my first instinct as well. But then I thought, is it really that? It's because it's not that wide. It's just tall.
I
Right?
don't think you can hit it that high.
So in other
Same
places,
thing.
they built a wall. So I don't know if they'll build a wall, so it's a little bit tougher to hit a home run.
Yeah, they were hitting it to the upper deck at Clemson.
Yeah.
So maybe you can get it up into the 600 section.
See, that'd be pretty cool to sit up in the 600 section and get home run balls.
Yeah.
It'd be funny if if somebody like hit it up there and they turned it into the Ted Williams seat, which by the way never happened. But
Fun fact.
it never. That
Fun
never happened.
fact.
That
You don't think he hit a ball 500 feet?
No way. No way.
He's Ted Williams,
He
dude.
is Ted Williams.
That never happened. Joey Votto has gone out there with a howling wind with a metal bat and couldn't get it out there.
Dude, that's Joey Votto. We're talking about Ted Williams.
I'm talking about Joey Votto, one of like the best home run hitters in the 21st century.
Not true.
No.
And
He's a great
No.
hitter. Joey Votto's a great hitter.
he's not Ted Williams.
I'm not saying he's Ted Williams, but he had a metal bat. Ted Williams was in the 1920s with a wood bat. You're telling me he hit it 500
This
feet
is
out there?
Ted Williams.
You're telling me literally nobody in the MLB. We're talking about everybody in the MLB has been like, nobody's been able to hit it out there. All those guys take BP and they try and hit it to that seat, and they all have better technology, better health, better everything than Ted Williams had, and they can't get it out
We're
there.
talking about Ted Williams.
It's Ted Williams.
He
dude.
was so big, we preserved his head. Harmon
was-
Killebrew at the old Met. Have you not been to Mall of
Yeah,
America?
have you seen the seat up there in the
The
Mall of
seats on the
America?
wall.
Up by the log ride, which is a great ride.
Great ride.
Yep. Thank you, Peter. Appreciate that.
Don't they rename that amusement park like every 2 years something different?
Yeah, they do.
used to be
They-
It
Camp
does
Snoopy.
change a lot. Camp Snoopy's what I grew up.
Nickelodeon
I think-
Town or something.
I was actually at that mall over the summer. It is Nick Universe currently.
okay.
We'll see how long that stays.
I pooped my pants at Mall of America.
Oh no.
All right.
Hello.
Yeah.
What do
was-
we got here?
I was 1 year old. I was a baby.
I was waiting for you to say how old
Yeah.
you were when that happened.
I got.
Of course, you pooped your pants.
I was born in Evanston, Illinois, but 2 days later I was moved to Minnesota. I started my day 1 to like year 3. I was in Minnesota. So
Okay.
we would frequent, Minneapolis, St. Paul a lot.
Sure.
And I would go to the Mall of America all the time, apparently, and just poop.
Well, that's what little babies do.
I know, but it's funny when I just go ahead and I first say I poop my pants at the Mall of America.
But it could have
and
been
you guys.
anytime.
Yeah, well, you guys start thinking, oh, did you do it like when you
Could
were
have been
15
recent.
or
Could have been
like 20? And then I go, no, I was 1.
Was it recent?
Was it last year?
When was
Past summer.
That's a great question.
I couldn't make it.
When was the last time you pooped your pants?
I don't know. Not trackable. Not traceable for me. I'm not sure.
The person that would know is no longer with us, so I'm out on this.
I don't. I mean, it's been years.
But when you think about it, like
Couldn't tell you.
you're awfully young, so if you said to someone like, "Hey, I last put my pants in like 2014," they'd be like, "Whoa, that's kind of recent."
No,
Whoa, that's
I
within.
can say the last time I pooped my pants was back in 2008.
All right, 2008,
Yeah, it
not bad.
That's long.
was a great year. I was in the first grade.
Yep. First year, Bo Pelini.
Chris says, I saw the bananas last year in Baton Rouge. It was fun. We
Baton
spent a lot of money on gear for the kids. I don't ever need to see it again.
Hey,
Just go one time.
they sell the jerseys at the College World Series, so you could just grab one of those.
Oh,
Just grab a Savannah Bananas.
Well, they were selling the party animals jerseys at the
Yeah.
College World Series.
Of
Which, by the
course.
way, like, why would you want to buy the Washington Generals jersey?
Oh, come on. You know
they
how-
actually are pretty cool. Like, you like that color, that pink?
No.
Like, I would buy an Indianapolis Clowns jersey.
Okay, I might be a fan of the Indianapolis Clowns. That I might buy.
Admittedly, I'm a
That's
little.
So they have introduced a new team that is a tribute to the Negro
Yeah,
Leagues.
yeah. So
So Ryan Howard yesterday was in a uniform when they unveiled their schedule and their new
Oh.
teams.
So they unveiled that team, and then it was the Coconuts. What was they
I don't
announced
know the
another
other
team.
Yeah, it was 2 new teams. I don't know what the.
So are
second
those
team
just
was.
do they just travel and like kind of rotate who they play?
I think so.
Is that how it
And then they
works?
have like the off-Broadway Bananas that go to Sioux
Okay.
Falls and play.
Okay,
The
that makes sense.
off-Broadway
That is a
bananas.
fantastic. That actually makes
The
it much easier
the
for me to
minor
understand.
league
the
bananas.
JV Bananas.
The JV bananas.
These are the off-Broadway.
Are their
bananas.
TikToks not as good? Is that the difference?
Their TikTok has
They're
half
just,
the engagement.
Johnny's got real potential. It's just he's got to get the behind the back, turn the double play ball down. I mean, once he does that,
Yeah.
can you imagine like
He's only got like 26,000 likes on this post.
Like-
He's got to get those numbers up. The one guy that's advanced.
what do you see in him? He gets likes on his posts.
Not enough though.
Almeida had 300,000 likes. Giambi had 600,000 likes. And Damon had 800,000 likes. Add that up and you get.
They're trying to recreate.
We're trying to
Bananas in the aggregate.
recreate Oscar Schultz in the aggregate.
in the aggregate.
Wouldn't that be funny though? Like just imagining Jesse and Moneyball just being like, man, his WAP dance isn't good enough.
They could make a spoof of this.
Yeah, they definitely. This is
could-
gold waiting to happen. Just
Hey.
Moneyball with the bananas.
Hey, if you were a Phillies fan, would you have come into work today?
No, I'd have been embarrassed. Probably.
I think the whole city of Philadelphia probably took work off.
bad
today.
night last night for Philadelphia.
Well, and the Flyers lost too.
Which you hate to see
Yeah.
it. You hate to see it.
One of 82 down the toilet.
Such a great city that you just hate to see have pain. I'd probably call into sports radio today. Wait for 3 hours.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to seek out some sound bites from those shows because wow.
Gary, you can't play Stilts at first base tonight. You can't play him. Well, I'm going to. No, the lineup card's yours. Can't play Stilts tonight.
We just traded him.
He plays for the Clowns now, Gary.
You traded Carlos Pena.
No, you traded Stilts guy.
You traded the Stilts guy.
You're
Yeah.
killing this team.
Awesome.
The Stilts guy had some problems with his vehicle.
Yeah, with his truck.
Yeah, so
his truck's breaking down.
Jesse, who is the
Oh, I know about Jesse.
yeah, he was talking to all their guys that are coming back about where they wanted to play,
Okay.
and the Stilts guy working on his truck.
All right.
His truck wouldn't turn over.
Oh, so he's like a country guy.
Yeah,
All right.
Yeah.
All right. That's cool. Little personality.
I'm sure he'll be here.
Did they call Kyle and ask him where he wanted to
No,
play?
you know what? I don't know.
He might be a C-list banana.
Yeah, like they only have like certain guys that are All year round bananas.
They have
Gotcha.
like superstar banana. They have like the
there's
top
like
bananas.
6 of them.
Yeah, like Kyle Perry might be like the Jonathan India of the bananas,
Hey.
or like the
He ended up having a good year.
maybe the Jesse Chavez of bananas. Best way of putting it.
All right. I was gonna.
He's only good in
Ready to
Atlanta.
defend
I
India.
was gonna message Kyle today and see, if he's gonna be there. I
gotta ask a certain somebody if we can get the tape of me and Kyle Perry doing sportscast together in class.
Nice.
I was dressed in a suit. KP was in shorts and a hoodie.
Chris
Comes up to me. He goes, "You wrote the script, right?" I go, "Yep, I wrote the script." He goes, "I can read." I'm like, "Great job, Kyle."
Chris says KP was on the team all season long.
He was.
There you go. Wonder if he's coming back.
But he's
Hopefully.
not like, when you're at the team store and you're looking for a Kyle Perry jersey, I think it's probably farther down the
Bananas
rack.
team store.
I know baseball he made the right choice with baseball. He was a great basketball player at Millard South.
Yep.
He's a
KP's an
really good
athlete.
basketball player.
I didn't know.
Good athlete.
He was actually like I was in a couple of classes with him. He was team morale #1. He was just the classic, like,
Vibes guy.
dude, it was an early
vibes,
class and you would hate it. And KP would come in and he would just make everybody laugh and happy. And we're like, "You're awesome."
That's why he's a banana and you're not.
Yeah, probably. I don't want to be a banana.
You
I want to be an orange, Mom.
They should have a bad vibes guy on the bananas. They
Oh,
should have
that'd be great.
They should have a pissed off guy.
They should have a guy.
And by the end of the
When
night,
he
they
did the
uplift
clubhouse
him.
disruptor.
They should have a guy.
Yeah, that's right, Peter.
It's like a movie playing out.
Yeah,
on the field.
exactly.
They
Art
should
Hal.
They should have a guy on the team that just travels with the team and all he does is talk crap about the bananas. That'd be you. That'd be a great role for you.
I don't hate the bananas.
Oh.
I hate I
You hate for
dislike-
what they stand for.
No, I dislike a certain aspect of the Savannah bananas.
So you'd be upset if I went to a bananas game and I said, "Hey, I got to stop and get a scorecard."
How would you score it?
Yeah.
I take this
How-
very seriously.
Yeah.
I
How would
know.
you score a bananas game? Is a scorecard in the shape of a banana? That'd be funny.
The
on
scorecard
brand.
the scorecard tells you all the wacky rules and how this all works.
The scorecard looks like the glossary for PFF. There's about 37 different things on there, and I can't keep up.
Hey,
with
it's
it.
only 2 hours.
All I know is if you catch it in the stands,
They're out.
It's an out.
Yes.
That's
You
the
don't
only
like
one I
that?
know. No, I didn't say
I
anything.
love that.
That's the only rule I know.
Can you imagine
Keeps
if
it
Gary won the
interactive.
World Series for the Cubs catching a foul ball at Wrigley?
That would be horrible. That would be horrible.
Might be some people upset.
I wouldn't be.
Bartman would be a hero.
Yeah, Bart.
Well,
would
no,
be-
he wouldn't have because he dropped the ball.
He
That
did
idiot.
drop it.
Bartman's like, why wasn't this?
That
They didn't
dummy.
catch it anyway.
Yo, Steve Bartman coaches my high school baseball team's freshman team.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
No, like
That's some
actual
good
Steve
lore.
Bartman?
Yeah, the Steve Bartman.
Thought he was incognito.
Yeah.
He came
Yeah, it was-
out. He went to my high school. Steve Bartman
He
went,
like left and went to Florida for decades.
yeah, he came
correct?
back. He's back. He went to my high school, Notre Dame College
Recharged
Prep.
in Florida.
And
So
I
he's
got-
out, he's out in public.
And I got told 2 years ago that he was coaching the freshman baseball team. at-
you got told that, or that's
no,
true?
it's
You verified
true. No,
this?
it's true.
What
It's
is
true.
he using as a name?
What school is
I
it?
have no clue.
Is it Steve? Like, but is his name Steve Bartman?
I guarantee it. Probably his name's probably Steve something.
He just
or
goes
if
by
it's-
Mr. Bartman.
I have
Coach
I,
Bartman.
I was told
Any
because
baseball
my
background?
my buddy had a brother who still went and played baseball there, and he was like, "You guys wouldn't believe he was like one of the freshman baseball coaches this year."
That is shocking news.
He came back to Chicago.
That is shocking. I remember he came back after they won the World Series.
Oh, it was forgiven.
Yeah.
Which is so crazy, by the way, that they had to win a World Series for a man to come back home.
Yeah. Well, you can go still, sit in his seat.
Oh yeah. When
Only
I
in a
went to
row.
Wrigley, I was like, I gotta go look at that seat, and I did. Now they
Sit there.
changed they changed the
Yes.
configuration a little bit, but yeah, we sat right over there when I went to a game several years ago, and I was like, let's go take a look.
And feel the history.
I've showed you both my Bartman picture with my father. It's us at the seats, and I'm like 5 years old, and we're
Yeah.
both reaching over like this.
Yeah, it's a tourist attraction at this
It's
point.
great.
They should
So
charge
sick.
extra.
I think they removed that. Did they remove the seat?
Yeah, because they like
did
reconfigured it. Yeah.
Yeah, they moved the wall.
Cowards. It's a part of our history.
Well,
Well, not anymore. You have to get new, cool, fun stuff.
We need
We need to make
another
money.
fan. Gary, it's up to you.
no, I'm not going to.
you got to go there and you got to do something dumb, and then that way we can have like a myth that we can blame all of our struggles on.
Well, there's been stretches of my Cub fandom that it has been dumb for me to be at Wrigley Field because I care more about the team on the field than the team on the field cares about me. There.
I'm sure many people feel that way.
Yeah, but not tomorrow night at 7:08.
That's
Big Red
not at
Overreaction will
Wrigley.
be done at 7:05. Pick up an order, go home, watch the game.
Okay, let's track this.
It'd be an hour and 20 minutes.
Oh,
Rapid fire.
I don't think so, buddy.
Yeah, no way.
You're missing the first 3 innings.
You don't remember that Bishop and I did a 42-minute Big Red Overreaction?
I was told that that's illegal now.
I was also told that's illegal. I said during one of the BRORs, I go, guys, I got something to do. Hopefully, let's do it in a minute and 30 or hour and 30. They were
But I
like,
think listeners
they were like,
understand.
no.
They're like, you know what? I'll save my calls for Monday.
You know, the only
All right, we've got you on the line. Michael Severe will be in the morning. We can get you.
you can tell Michael about it. All right, we're moving on.
What if Nebraska loses to the Turtles? You guys are
Well,
going to
then
be there
I'm
for 3 hours.
hoping for a roof malfunction in Milwaukee.
As the BROR
Oh,
veteran
God.
of this season,
Another
specifically,
flash flood in Milwaukee.
there's only one host that I went with that we did an extra segment, and that was John. So good luck. Also, good luck with a lot of. You're going to have a lot of paper.
That's fine. We should. That's a great sign for the
It
show.
is a great sign.
We
Yeah.
love the paper.
I don't know. I'm hoping for good vibes for
We'll
all
bring
day
the good
Saturday.
vibes.
Yeah, hopefully. Hopefully.
I think I'll text you to scare you like you scared me last week and be like, just randomly, you're screwed for BROR. You're screwed. It's going to be
I
terrible.
think that was when it was 21-14. I said Godspeed because I could
Oh,
already see. On
I was also
Twitter-
thinking.
I could always see on Twitter for both of you that people are like, "Can I call in now? When's the show start? Who's doing the show?" That's not a good sign. People, when you're winning, they don't tweet and go, "Hey, who's doing the show today?" They only tweet when they're like, "Nebraska's losing."
that's actually true.
Who's doing the show so I can scream?
Yes, I'd like to call right now, please.
Please put me on hold for the entire
Yeah.
fourth
We
quarter.
didn't get our first call until the show started last week, which
Okay.
is
Good- That's a good sign.
Josh and I, after the Michigan game, had like 3 calls on hold before we went live.
the way it goes.
Depends.
Thank God they won that game and scored that many points in the fourth quarter.
Would have been ugly.
It would have been so.
But we've all
ugly.
been there before.
We've all taken our beating.
No, not really.
I guess you haven't.
Yeah, you're
No.
on a roll.
Oh yeah, you got to get a bad Big Red overreaction.
'Cause-
This is, what's your next one? Northwestern?
No,
Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Oh, prime
That could be.
disaster territory. Perfect.
Minnesota.
Friday night, everybody's hammered.
Yeah, don't have to worry about
Nebraska gets
tomorrow.
pushed around by Minnesota, and they call Matt.
Minnesota,
Flecker rule. Go.
Northwestern, and I think Penn State are the last 3. I think I
That
have 3
Minnesota
left.
one is probably the.
Oh yeah, prime
most
disaster
dangerous.
Josh
territory.
is buying Popeyes, so
Wow,
it'd be fun.
what a plan!
Of course, when I'm at a wedding, there's Popeyes.
What a plan!
All right. Well, I see. Will you be with us tomorrow?
I am.
Yeah.
I am indeed.
Oh, Big Red overreaction.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll see you tonight.
I'll see
TV
you tonight.
guys.
Oh my
TV
God,
boy.
I'm
Will you
going
see
to
me
have
tonight?
Some fun.
You're not anywhere near our booth. You're
Okay.
restricted from our.
Where
You
those
can
guys
just
at,
you
on the
can
roof?
just you can just come down and say, "Hey, man, nice to see you."
That's a
you
long
know.
walk.
You're the worst.
They're gonna.
Oh,
hand
everyone's in there tonight.
They're
All
gonna
right.
hand me that telestrator, and I'm gonna say thank you. I'll talk to you later.
Thank you for
I
the
need
tips.
no
Yes.
more information.
I would
I don't
actually
be
be
honest-
pissed
I
if
don't
you
ask-
two like tried big timing me at the game and like just walked right by me and ignored me. I'd actually see. I'm not. I shouldn't have said that because now you're gonna do that.
It's a great idea. We should do that.
Yeah, we should.
All right, let's do it. We'll ignore Matt tonight. Ready, break. That's the crossover. Powered by Everlevel Concrete Repair in Omaha at everlevelconcrete.com. It's Friday. We'll start things off next.
It's the Connor Happer Show. Are we sure we want to do this?
Could you, make an announcement that we're ready?
It's the Connor Happer Show on 1620, The Zone.
All right, welcome in. Happy Friday. It's the Connor Happer Show. You're on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. Connor Happer and Peter Krenzer with you today. Josh is out living the high life. We'll pick up for him, but of course, Josh has still supplied the hype speech for the show today. So
Ready to go.
Be not afraid. We will load that up, and it'll come at you at about 1:20-ish this afternoon. Peter Krenzer is here getting ready for a couple deciding game 5s in baseball and the division series and a big weekend of football ahead. We'll also look back at some things that happened last night. Of course, today, our Nebraska-Maryland history lesson. Unfortunately, this is the first time this year that we haven't had to go way back in the Wayback Machine. I guess we didn't have to do anything for Houston Christian because Nebraska hadn't played Houston Christian yet.
Yeah, that's fair.
We did a brief history of their program and some of the things that they've had going for them. Nebraska and Maryland met for the first time in 2016. So that's where we'll take the Wayback Machine to. And then 19, and then 23. Nebraska 2-1 all time against the Terps. So we'll have that coming up at noon. Our Keys and Peas in the 1 o'clock hour, and our illustrious, esteemed guest, Brian Munson from Husker Online, will join us in 20 minutes. Brian Christopherson from Husker 247, who's already, I think he's pre-flight. We will talk to BC anyway on scheduled time at 11:30. I did text Sipple yesterday preemptively. I was thinking ahead. I said, there's no way. There's no chance.
I'll check, but no way.
There's no chance. So I texted him and I said, Sipple, what's your flight situation look like tomorrow? What are the chances we could get you on? And I said, are we good for travel? And he's with travel. And he said, unfortunately, no. Face palm emoji. And I said sad. And he said, I regard it with utter sadness. And then I said, I do too. And that was our conversation yesterday.
And that was it.
So no Steve Sipple on the show today, but still happy to be joined by Munson and BC on this Friday. That's the lineup powered by the referees at John Higgins Weather Guard. We'd love to hear from you all today. 402-951-1620 on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone Hotline. You can call or text that number. Tweet at Happer Show at Connor Happer on the JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed. Email Connor at 1620thezone.com. P. Krenzer at nrgmedia.com.
Boom.
If you have something that you want Peter to see, but you don't want me to see, maybe Peter could just surprise me with a take from the Equitable Bank inbox. P. Krenzer.
I like this idea.
At nrgmedia.com. And of course, we say good morning to the YouTube streamers today. How we doing, everybody? Including, oh boy, deep breath, Mike Stibbs yet again. He's been in the comments recently.
Oh, hello, Stibbs.
I've been praying for Stibbs, not like actually praying for Stibbs, but thinking about Stibbs. He is in for a brutal, brutal night tonight. Either way, one way or the other, it's going to be pain for Seattle Mariners fan Mike Stibbs. There is very few stressors like watching your team play in a winner-take-all game. Oh my God.
We have been there.
It's not pretty. So this is in a different mind space today. We'll try and give Stibbs the normalcy that he deserves today. Yes. If we keep it steady for him, then maybe he could feel like, oh, this is a normal day, and then he just watches a normal baseball game tonight. But we know later tonight that will not indeed be the case.
Maybe they'll have a Kendrys Morales moment.
That would be huge.
Wouldn't that be fun for Stibbs?
Who's their Kendrys? I mean, it'd probably be Mr. Dumper.
Yeah, I would. Yeah,
Mr. Dumper drives a home run to dead center.
What would
field.
it be? Dump 62 here, 63.
Yeah, I mean, so maybe there's a special moment in store tonight for the Seattle Mariners, but the anticipation is going to be bad, and then the game itself, pitch to pitch, Going to be a tough one tonight for any Tigers or Mariners fans out there. And then tomorrow, of course, with the Brewers and the Cubs back in Milwaukee having game 5. There will be no game 5 for Philadelphia and Los Angeles. Why is that the case? Peter, are we ready to play a video? Are we prepared for that?
Let's do it.
Excellent. There will be no game 5 between the Phillies and the Dodgers. Why? Well, here it is.
Pages breaks his bat. Kirkering gotta find it. Throws to the plate. Oh my goodness! He throws it away, and the Dodgers have won. The Dodgers win.
But it's like it's so cringeworthy.
You really can't like
it's
every
so hard
neutral
to
fan.
watch.
You can't help but just like, ooh.
It's so hard to watch.
I watched multiple reactions.
Disaster! What a bad idea! Oh my goodness!
So bad. I watched multiple reactions, and everyone was almost simultaneous, like, ooh. Like you just can't. And what the first time I saw it, I had no clue that it was 2 outs. I thought it was 1 out.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, not that would have made it that much better, I guess, but then I would have understood the force at home.
If there was 1 out, right, then it's a totally normal decision to throw it home because you're cutting off the winning run. Like,
but
you
then
have to throw it
once
home.
I saw there was 2 outs, I was like, oh no. And he had to play it. Oh gosh.
Orion Kirkering, didn't have a good night last night, and probably gonna be thinking about that one for a little bit. Just sheer panic. I mean, that's it. That's pitcher fielding their position. It is like, I guess I could add a little bit of insight to this. Like, you get a situation like that, bases are loaded, games on the line. You know, if that run crosses home plate, that they are winning and your season is over. And all of a sudden the ball ends up at your feet on the mound. Your feet are in odd places because, you know, you're on the slope of the mound and you're trying to pick up the ball. And all of a sudden your entire clock is sped up. You're all the way sped up. And so you just do what instinctually comes to mind. And for him, that was throwing it home. And it was pretty clear that about as he was winding up to throw it or upon the release, he was like, this is a horrible idea. Why did I start doing this? And threw it behind the plate. And the Dodgers move on to the NLCS. Could have thrown it to first, got the out, and played a 12th. But we did not have that last night. Ouch! Ugh. I don't even want to like, usually we would laugh at something like this. I don't think this is a laughing matter. And I know it's the Phillies. Josh would be laughing if he was here right now, but Josh is a mean-spirited person against the Philadelphia Phillies. I cringe. It's cringe for me. It hurts. It hurts to watch. So if I was a Phillies fan, if I was I don't know, if I was a fan of a team where something like that happened to me last night, I don't know what I'd be doing. I don't know what I'd be doing. I'd be thinking about all the little moments that led to that moment, and then
not getting out of bed till noon.
And then that. Oh boy. Elsewhere in the NFL last night, Tuesday on NFL Reaction Overreaction, the writers wondered if the Eagles were on fraud watch, and it's a very interesting result last night for that topic.
Very interesting.
Cam Scattaboo. He was running into people. He does not care about his own well-being, and it worked out to his advantage. So
he's
nice
here for a good time.
Job by him last night. So that is the setup for the show today. We have a variety of different questions. And yes, we'll talk about the Savannah Bananas announcing their summer stadium tour, which will reach Memorial Stadium in Lincoln. We'll take a quick break here. We'll come back. So I don't know if you guys picked that up. Scattaboo. So Adam Sandler's coming back to town. How would Adam Sandler say Cam Scattaboo? He would say, Scattaboo. Scattaboo. You're My Best Friend tour, which is next, not this coming Tuesday, but the next one, the 21st at the Chai. Josh and John will still have more chances for you to get into Adam Sandler. And I believe, stay tuned because we'll have more next week as well. Also, you can find more details online at 1620thezone.com for the Adam Sandler show. We'll be back after this. to drop by Creighton practice yesterday as they had their media day. We have exhibition basketball 1 week from tonight at the Chai. Yes.
The basketball is back.
Creighton and Iowa State, and then they'll re-rack it in about 6 weeks and play at the Players Era Festival in Las Vegas.
I was thinking about that. Is that common to play an exhibition against a team and then have a regular season game against that team?
I don't think they would have done it if they would have known what their matchups were.
Yeah, because they kind of
traditionally play Iowa State like every year in a secret scrimmage.
Yeah.
This is the first time they've actually played them, I think, in a public exhibition. But they usually go over there and scrimmage, or they come here and scrimmage, and it's closed and controlled and all that stuff. But now, you get 2 exhibitions, so you might as well let the people in and have them spend their money and stuff like that. But yeah, then they got the draw for the Players Era. And
yeah, the players.
What happened?
Seems like the players draw kind of happened a little later than most of the teams would have preferred.
Yeah, but it's a great field down there for that tournament. And,
loaded.
And so we got basketball starting up a week from tonight, and then the Saturday after that as well at the Chai for the 2 exhibition games. Nebraska will play BYU a week from tomorrow. Good to see Creighton going yesterday. It is funny, man. We heard that conversation with Padilla yesterday about sort of where they're at. Like it's really difficult to tell right now. They have a lot of options and a lot of different possibilities and things that they could potentially do. I think every player, probably to a man, has probably, been a little bit up, a little bit down. Great practice here, disaster practice here. So they got a lot of figuring out to do. So 2 exhibition games, and then the South Dakota game, and then you go to Gonzaga and you want to put your best shot out there. So they're gonna have to, figure some things out pretty quickly. But as it usually does, it'll get better and better throughout the month of November as they go forward. A lot of guys who look good, but ask me tomorrow. They practice early this morning, and I think are giving the guys a break maybe for the weekend. But if you ask anyone on a different day, it's like, oh yeah, this guy. I think you just absolutely have to play this guy. I will give you one guy before we talk about the bananas here real quick. I will give you one guy that nobody's probably talking about that is going to play minutes for Creighton this year. Austin Swartz, the transfer from Miami. They got him, and I thought, oh, this is like a interesting, 3-point shooting, specialist kind of guy. No, he is a damn good athlete and rounding into a pretty complete player in preseason practices. So I think they'll probably have to play him. And they also got to find 5 guys who can guard. Still getting Owen Freeman back and healthy and all that stuff. So they, like I said, they got a lot of stuff to kind of figure out as they go forward. Bananas. Let's go bananas.
Go bananas.
They are coming to your city. If your city is Lincoln next June, the Thursday, the 11th of June, and Saturday, the 13th of June. Thursday at Haymarket Park and Saturday at Memorial Stadium in Lincoln. Troy Dannon, he commented on this yesterday in a statement. This is an exciting day for Nebraska athletics in the city of Lincoln since we have begun pursuit of large stadium type shows from Memorial Stadium. The Bananas have been consistently mentioned as an event Nebraskans were excited to see in person. This will be a great event for families to enjoy as summer 2026 kicks off in Lincoln. The lottery, it's a random lottery. They will open that up on Halloween in a couple weeks. So join the list if you're interested in going, and then you get the opportunity to buy tickets because I'm sure they'll sell that thing out. It'll be a pretty cool scene. It'll be weird to see Memorial Stadium in yellow, or maybe people will just continue to wear red. I don't know. It'll be
red anyway.
It'll be the sea of yellow and red.
Everybody will be rooting for the firefighters or whoever the team that they're playing.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the Bananas wear red for one night or something like that. So here I have one thing to say about the Bananas, and I'm trying not to be like too like old man grumpy about this. Here's my one thing that sort of bothers me. And it doesn't have anything to do with starting on the Saturday of the College World Series. Like, whatever. Somebody tweeted at me last night. Is like, I know you're just probably, jealous that they're going to Lincoln and not Omaha. It's like, no, that's not it. They wanted a college football stadium tour. There's only one college football stadium in the state. Well, there's more, I guess, but there's only one 90,000 seat college football stadium in the state. It's great. It'll be an awesome show. And so here's my one thing. Every time I see one of the Bananas things and them promoting themselves, and this is what they do, it's marketing, right? And it's shameless self-promotion. I could probably be better at shamelessly self-promoting myself. So maybe this is, but like every time you go to their website and they're like, our tickets are different. Our what we do is making, it makes baseball fun, which comes with the implication that baseball is not fun. Not that it's like a slight to baseball, but it does like come with the implication. I just don't like the sometimes the balloon headedness sort of rubs me the wrong way. That's if there's one like overarching thing about the Bananas, it's that. The event itself and the games themselves are probably not for me. I don't have a child who's old enough to understand or care about any of that, so like that's not a factor. And I think baseball is fun. Like, I think going to baseball games is fun, and I don't need them to pause in the middle of the game to dance or, have foul balls caught by fans be called outs and stuff like that. Nothing against anybody who wants to go and is very interested. I'm sure the kids will love it. This will be an awesome thing for Lincoln. It'll be an awesome thing for Memorial Stadium and a great show yet again. But like, I don't know. Sometimes I get, I'm like, geez, man, like you guys aren't reinventing the wheel here. You guys aren't creating electricity. It's baseball, but with breaks to do TikTok dances, and the ball is yellow, And to some people, that makes it really, really fun, and because they can't get into baseball for whatever reason anyway. Okay, great. But, like I said, I maybe not my thing. So that's where I stay before, because I got a bunch of stuff last night is like, oh man, Happer's gonna go on a rant and a tirade about this. No, I'm not like super duper anti-banana. There's just some certain aspects about how they do their business that sort of rub me the wrong way. That's all. That is it. Peter, you have been to a banana, right?
I actually have not been to a banana.
I thought you went.
But I had a friend that lived in Savannah and got to check him out while he was living there, and has a connection to get tickets.
Okay.
So I might try to check them out at the Haymarket, because as you said, College World Series will be busy once they play at Memorial. But if I could make it on that Thursday, might have to check it out.
Yeah, that'd be a fun show too.
Like Gary said, it's something to check out once, see how it is.
Okay. So we can, Black Cat says, but there's a guy on stilts.
Is there?
MJ says, let's get that burner take. The burner take is not really about that. The burner take was sort of different. And if I said it, it wouldn't be burner anymore. I'm not going to say the burner take on the radio. That would be bad business for me. Speaking of business. All right. We'll come back. The 11 o'clock hour is full. It's Brian Munson from Husker Online. It's Brian Christopherson from Husker 247. It is the Odd News with Peterman. All to come in the next 60 minutes on 1620 The Zone.
Brian Munson,
Hey, long call. Comfy left zoom buster. 63 bang. Z Maui. Alert. Paradise Z Burger Y Wrap on one.
Husker Online on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
All right, getting ready for another weekend of football. We start off our Friday by chatting with Brian Munson from HuskerOnline.com. Munson, good morning. How we doing?
I'm doing great, man. How are you?
Good. How was the excursion to Buffalo and Northwest New York? Yeah, how was it?
Yeah, it was wonderful. I don't know if I can, I met several folks from Nebraska out there.
Wow.
It was incredible. Yeah. There was a couple from Lincoln. There was a retired guy that lives in Omaha. A couple from Aurora that lived in Grand Island. I tell you this, and it's not a load, dude. Very similar to Lincoln, like just the whole tailgating. We stood there waiting for somebody to show up. The only person that we knew that was going to be there any amount of time before the game was an Eastern Michigan coach. And he was going to be an hour later than when we decided to go ahead and go down there. So we just stood like on this corner, like watching things and taking pictures and stuff like that until people started reaching out to us, and they just embraced us. And it was fantastic. I'm telling you, great experience. Awful game. The Bills against Sean Hockley that night on Sunday night was a terrible experience. I mean, they played the Patriots, not bad. Not Sean Hockley. But no, we're gonna try to make it back to the opening of the new stadium next year. The new stadium was phenomenal. The whole experience this time was great. We're gonna change a couple things up next time, but all in all, great. I'm actually up in Detroit today to watch Eastern Michigan play against NIU tomorrow. So one last trip before basically the holidays get here.
You get to experience the splendor of Ypsilanti, Michigan yet again. Great job.
I'm gonna see if I can survive a quarter there. I'm bringing my pet raccoon with me.
Now, unfortunately, Michigan is at USC this weekend, so you could drive like 4 minutes up the road and go to their game, but that's not possible this weekend.
So EMU.
Munson?
I'm actually going to be in Ann Arbor tonight. I'm trying to find the right venue to like go watch the Nebraska game tomorrow after the EMU game. And I think we'll actually travel back, to Ann Arbor to watch a game, just kind of hang out, down there a little bit. So I'm looking forward to seeing it. I've heard some great things about it, but my son was down there like on a Big Blue weekend and did some FaceTiming with me. It looks like a pretty crazy environment down there when you're walking around.
Last question about this trip. Did you jump through any tables?
You know what? The Hammer lot where we were at literally had a sign that said no table jumping. And you know what? It's not really like a liability deal. The actual problem with it is guys get rolling and folks get rolling, jumping on the tables and jumping through them. They literally turn into Limp Bizkit and they start singing "Give Me Something to Break" because they start stealing tables from everyone and taking away from other people's tailgates and start busting them themselves. So, yeah, it's. I guess it's a contagious thing. I guess I'll never experience it. I did walk through carnage of destroyed tables after the game as we were walking back to the car because we went through a different lot. So there were destroyed tables in other parts of the area.
I don't know how they do it. Like tables are not cheap. Like you got to buy tables every week and you break a table every single week. I mean, that really adds up.
And that's not a crazy easy joint to bust like right in the middle because some of those have like got like the middle little slides to like lock it out.
Right.
So you
might get like stabbed by the table. Like that's, yeah.
And then they set them on fire too for just a little extra adventure too. Like, give me a break, man.
What a unique situation they have up there. I mean, Nebraska is you compared the two, but I don't see anything like that going on at.
I mean, I'm at the hospitality side definitely, but yeah, there was some really cool people up there. I would compare it that way to Nebraska. It's a very different area. It's not like nestled into a town in downtown Buffalo. You're in the middle of nowhere. You're in the middle of a residential area, and there's literally a road that cuts through the old stadium with the new stadium. I don't know how they do it. The property values around there are incredible.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just in the middle of nowhere.
All right, so we haven't talked in a couple weeks now because of the aforementioned trip last week. What is the headline from the last 2 weeks in Nebraska recruiting?
Last weekend it was big for me, like when we were headed home from the U of B EMU game to catch up with Josiah Teasley. I thought, first of all, he's the first uncommitted 2026 recruit that had an offer that's visited Lincoln this fall. And I think that's what made him the headliner. So, obviously Nebraska parted ways with Bonwell Whitty, 2 or 3 weeks ago now. And they've offered a couple of 2026 wide receivers, and I think things are looking really good right now with Nebraska and Teasley. I brought an article, out on Saturday night as soon as I caught up with them, but it's been one of those like really, it's really been an interview that's kind of stuck with me because he had some really interesting things to say. I think the first one, and I mentioned it in 3 and Out, was that, he was at the whiteout for Penn State versus Oregon. And then he comes back to Nebraska and watches just a kind of an afternoon game, against Michigan State. And I think, from everything that I heard during the interview and stuff that I posted, he liked the Nebraska experience better, just for like an ordinary, average, just kind of everybody wearing red kind of thing. So I kind of wanted to make sure everybody understood that, Nebraska doesn't have to go out there and try to be special. It is special. And it was really kind of a refreshing a message from Teasley. I think the other side of it is, though, too, and I mentioned it in Tunnel Talk, Nebraska is very clear. They were very clear with him this last weekend about where he's at on their board. They got into basically some ranking system that they use with their recruits. And they basically divulged with him, that they saw him as like a 4.5 out of 5.0 scale recruit. Now, I typically would go back and go, okay, well, that's stars. Like you and I would talk about that in terms of like ranking system with stars. And as I kind of went back and like did the math and kind of figured out like where 4.5 would kind of be like chopping in the middle of like the four star recruits and just saying like, we'll just go here. I mean, that would kind of, it's an estimation, but it probably put him like in the top 200 recruits according to like the Rivals On 3 recruiting system. So they have a very high grade on him, and he's going to come back for an official visit. When I spoke to him on Saturday, it was between USC and Iowa. He's going to go see Vanderbilt the last weekend in October. He's going to go see Penn State, I think November 8th. I can't remember who they face, but he's definitely going to get back to Nebraska. I think it's going to be interesting to see like if he's still a Virginia commitment. So is he just going to go ahead and flip, or is he going to go ahead and walk away from the commitment? Does Virginia have a chance to retain him? Those are some of the questions I still have. There's maybe a fourth team, but definitely 3 right now that seem to be the most legitimate teams for him at the moment.
You wrote about a couple guys who are at Central, and I got a chance to see them last week. One already committed for the 27 class, and that'd be Torrey Pittman, but also a note on Kylon Haney, who's their running back. I guess it's interesting with the in-state recruiting thing. We bring it up quite often, but here's a couple guys from the same school. One of them already committed. What would you say the outlook is for not necessarily those guys, because we know that Pittman is committed, but Haney in particular?
I think Nebraska is the outright leader for him at the moment, which is kind of interesting because you and I, we didn't bring up Kylon Haney for Akron or HCU. He didn't come down for either one of those first 2 weekends, but he's been in Nebraska. He's been in Lincoln the last 2 home games. He's talking about coming back for USC, and there are no other plans at the moment. I mean, for him to go anywhere else. So it's really looking like the Huskers are by far and away the leaders with him. I think, in talking to him kind of privately, it was definitely something that he was thinking about with, being really good friends and close to Torrey Pittman. And you have to go back too. I mean, I don't know how far back you have to go in Trey Taylor's feed on Twitter, because he tweets a lot, but there have been some things like where he's, basically called it out. Like,
oh yeah, he's
the
pushing
two running
for him.
backs I've always, he's the one, he is the one pushing Kylon to jump in. He's like saying, look, the two running backs I want in the class with me are Kylon and Isaiah Rodgers. I mean, he is very much pushed that out there. I mean, that's where his heart and head are at. So, and I think the thing about Kylon too, from talking to him, I think on Sunday or Monday, he looks like a different guy this year. He looks like he really put in a lot of work this off season. He looks quicker. He looks faster. And, when I brought it up to him, I was like, you don't look like the same dude. Like, I just kind of thinking maybe be like another bowling ball guy. But now he's beating guys to the corner. He's turning, he's stepping it up a notch. He's got another gear. He said, "You're not the first guy to tell me that." Those are basically the first words out of his mouth. So I think he's happy with the work he's put in. I think that when you look at that group too, Trey Taylor announced today on, he's an All-American Bowl guy. He's committed to the game. Trey Taylor will tell you, you go out there and bust your butt, you can attain goals and reach goals like this. I think when you have a guy that's a leader like that, and you got a guy like Kylon that's also put in the work, you get a nice little core to a group of guys that are already very talented, very highly rated. You get them to Lincoln, they could really develop well together.
It's been cool to see for Trey Taylor, because I the first thing for me anyway that stood out about him, having not knowing him before he committed to Nebraska, was, oh wow, this guy is really, he's really out there. Like you said, he's very public with his opinion and his love for Nebraska and love for Lincoln, and it's very transparent in that regard. So like you could see why he's an important peer recruiter for not only this class in 26 but also his in 27. But I think what's been cool to see for him is, you mentioned it, he's an All-American. Like the playing, the football has really checked out for him so far in his junior season. I guess, what kind of player are we looking at here with Trey Taylor outside of all of the other stuff that I think people know pretty well?
Well, I'll tell you this. I communicate with his dad pretty much every Friday night or every Saturday morning once I get Trey's stats from the game, the game the night before. And every now and again, like, they'll drop a tough one. They dropped a tough one last week to Montini with the Catholic school. Montini. Yeah. There you go. So they dropped the one to Montini Catholic. I think they lost by a point, like 55-54. But Trey had 8 touchdowns. He had 5 throwing. He ran for 3 more. and the first thing out of his pop's mouth was, Trey really wanted this. I mean, I think stats aside, the kid's going to go out there and do everything that he can do to win a ball game. But if it means, you're going to turn around and hand it off to Isaiah or Kylon or whomever is going to be in the backfield, just to go out there and win the football game because they need to establish the run, he's all for it. But I think, though, when you're going to say this game's going to be on you, we don't know how we're going to, our team's going to go as you go. He's going to go out there and he's going to give it his all. And I think that is something to really be said about him, just being that competitive natured guy. But I think he's all, extension of the coaching staff too. And he realizes, of course, what the game plan is, and he doesn't need to go out there and make terrific plays all the time. He has got other guys in the field that he can depend on. So I think right now that Nebraska, it's hard for me to say that there's a guy better than him in the 2027 class, honestly, when it comes to playing the position. I think he's that good. And I think he has the right mindset and just like the mental makeup that it's going to take to be successful at the next level.
Road game this week, road game on Friday next week, and then a Northwestern game the week after, as you start to set things up for the stretch of the season and just a few more home games left. What are we looking at in terms of Nebraska piling up visitors in that period of time?
Yeah, I don't anticipate a lot for Northwestern. I mean, because I think Nebraska's pushing the majority of their chips into the middle of the table for USC. I think
they should, right?
As they absolutely should. I mean, first of all, I was just text messaging with Hayden Ainsworth. In fact, I think he texted me back since you and I had been on the phone. He was just saying about how he's looking forward to seeing those uniforms, and he was really hoping it's a night game. If this lines up like what we're kind of all thinking it may, to where it gets a night game slot potentially, it's going to be a massive recruiting event for the Cornhuskers. I've heard numbers could be 50 to 60. And you and I know, because there's not really a cattle call weekend anymore, and they've not really been just throwing out the invites as much. Anybody to anybody that'll just show up. This is going to be a very select group, even if they still hit those types of numbers, which I think leads into the other part of my tunnel talk, today, where I'm just going, they've been so successful hosting these guys, and all these guys are talking about coming back. It's going to be very interesting to see how they kind of get the plan together, when it comes to, the winter and the springtime to kind of bring these guys back. But I think we're talking about massive numbers for USC. There's a few guys already on our list. King Thibodeau, who's just down the road from me at Garland Lakeview Centennial, is a big time 2027 defensive lineman. He's already confirmed to me, of course, that he will be in that weekend. And that's a big get, or to get him up there to Lincoln there for November 1st.
Excellent. Brian Munson from HuskerOnline.com. All right, Munson, enjoy your weekend up north, and we will talk to you next time.
I'll tell you if I get to survive a quarter or not, man.
That's right. That's Brian Munson.
Later, bro.
See ya. Brian Munson from HuskerOnline.com. The gray field, the concrete looking field, and Ypsilanti, Michigan will be in full effect against Northern Illinois this weekend. I have seen one game up there. It was different. You're amazed because if you grow up in Nebraska, college football one way, and it's there's people everywhere, and it's just a big scene. And at a mid-major, at a MAC school, it's the stadium is just kind of nestled in with there's the basketball facility on the south side, and then it's like in a small kind of town, but it's right up the road from Ann Arbor, and there's no like buzz about it. You just walk in and there's a college football game, and they have to work with that. Obviously, they're not competing with the Nebraskas of the world or anything like that, but it's very different. I would actually encourage people to go to like a MAC game. Not necessarily like a MAC Shin game, but like a MAC game, whether it be on a Saturday at 11 or something like that. Like it's a different and fun experience. Before we get to BC, I wanted to mention this. Yeah, it sounds like Sam Leavitt might not go this weekend. He's the quarterback at Arizona State, of course. Kenny Dillingham, their coach, said Sam Leavitt, quote, does everything he possibly can to play. But if he plays in the game, it will be a mini miracle. I'd be shocked. And so the college football world has wondered, who is the potential quarterback for Arizona State should Sam Leavitt not be able to go? That would be the one, the only, Jeff Sims.
Oh, baby.
Jeff Sims, who will get mentioned in our history lesson a little bit later on as well. We'd like to dedicate the rest of this show to you, Jeff.
Big Jeff Sims show today.
Congratulations, Jeff, on getting another start and getting another chance to do incredible, incredible things, whether they be good or bad, for Arizona State's game against Utah this weekend. We'll take a break. Brian Christopherson is our next guest. Peter, you know what? I should remind people here before we take a break about Underdog Fantasy, of course. Let's do that. Underdog. It's the best and easiest place to make your picks, whether it be on Saturday or Sunday. And you can make picks and win money right now in the state of Nebraska. Pick whether your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like rushing yards, receptions, touchdowns, and more. You get those picks right, you could win up to 5,000 times your cash. So look across the NFL slate this weekend. You'll be certain to find something that you like, higher or lower, whether it be rushing yards, touchdowns, whatever it may be. Find it on Underdog by downloading the app today and sign up using promo code HAPPER1620 to score $100 in bonus funds or bonus entries when you play your first $5. That's promo code Happer 1620. Underdog, make picks, win money. Must be 19 plus and present in Nebraska. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/playing. Get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concern with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
Hey, Brian. Brian Christopherson.
I gotta take this. It's Hap.
B-Rye, B-Rooney, drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry.
Brian Christopherson. Husker 24/7 on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
All right, time for our weekly chat with Brian Christopherson from Husker 247 BC. Good morning. Happy Friday. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you, Connor?
Good. I'm surprised you're not on the Husker plane. It sounds like everybody, his flight is about to leave. You're on the later flight today?
Kind of a loner. That's kind of me. Yeah, I probably should be on that flight, given the state of things right now. So I'm playing with fire a little bit. I am going to the game.
Okay.
But I'm not. I'm still in Lincoln. My flight at the Omaha airport's not till 5. So wish me well.
Oh, I do. Yeah, it's gonna be a later night getting to the East Coast, but we do, of course, wish you well. It'll be Nebraska's first true road game. This is the latest that Nebraska has played a first true road game in an opposing team's stadium since 2013 Purdue. That was October 12th. So October 11th.
I remember that game.
2013 Purdue. I'm trying to think. Nebraska would have rolled, right?
Yes, they did. Randy Gregory had a big day. Purdue was awful.
Yes.
There was about 5,000 people at the game.
Nice.
Was it like 44-7 or something like that?
That sounds right. That sounds right. Let's see. Nebraska, Purdue, 2013.
I'm hopeful.
44-7.
I'm waiting.
44-7, of course. Amir Abdullah ran for 126. It was a ho-hum day for Nebraska.
Yeah, that was it was that was an appreciative ho-hum day because that was the year of Audiogate, and that was a couple weeks. That was a few weeks removed from it, and it was nice to have just sort of a chill Saturday with 8,000 people watching a game.
So, as has been talked about plenty this week, there are challenges to obviously taking the operation on the road, and all of those things. I am not under any sort of, and I guess we wouldn't really talk about this until it actually showed itself during the game, but I feel like Nebraska will handle this even though it's the first time this year, first time doing it in a while. That they will handle it relatively well. It might even be a good thing for them to go on the road, considering all the time they've been at home the last 2 months.
Yeah, you never want to underestimate like what an opposing crowd is going to bring to the party, I guess. But I kind of will. I don't expect it to be a buzzsaw by any means, and I think it would have been a much tougher environment had Maryland hung on last week and we're undefeated right now. Been ranked. I don't know. They would have been close to it.
Yep.
But I think the last 21 points by Washington in the fourth quarter took a little steam out of things for the fan base. I sometimes track over to like our opposing team's message board, and I just don't sense they're like on fire or anything about this game. Hoop season is just around the corner. But I think it's important, all this said, that Nebraska, if they can come out and sort of pile on to how last week's game finished for Maryland, that is a young team. It's a squad that even going into last weekend had 8 freshmen that had played like 100 snaps or more, or right around there, which was way more than anybody in the Big Ten. So they've got a lot of young guys who are sort of going through their first Big Ten grind. And Captain Obvious says every week, get off to a good start. But I think especially with what happened to that team last Saturday, it would be an interesting mental challenge that they would have to overcome if Nebraska went right down the field on them.
How long can they keep this up from a pass defense perspective? It's statistically the best in the country right now. You have a team on Saturday who is not particularly interested, in fact, really at all interested in running the ball, as evidenced by the fact that they were still passing it all around the yard when they were up 20-0 on Saturday against Washington. How long can Nebraska's pass defense continue to look this statistically good?
Maybe not this statistically good, but I suspect they're going to be up near the top for most of the season, because I really do think it's a strength. And I think at some point, a few weeks ago, we were kind of like, well, yeah, but we didn't know how good Sorsby was, and then there's Akron and Houston Christian. But I mean, you have enough data points now, and you have to consider everybody in the country has had 1 or 2 games against lower level competition. So you kind of have to throw that whole thing out, the September games. Sorsby's obviously looked great. And you've played, I know, like Bryce Underwood's a growing quarterback and all that, but, you played a 5-star QB. Aiden Childs was a guy who's highly, I think, thought of as far as his skill set, at least, with Sorsby. So I think you have to, at this point, get to about that stage where you're like, okay, that they're legit top 5 and they can cover, and that's going to be something you can hang your hat on. That said, I do think this is one of the tougher tests for them of the season, because I think the true freshman kid, Malik Washington's plays well for his age, and they've got a couple of receivers who have more than 300 yards, and they average 17 yards per catch, which kind of jumps out at you. And so this will be a big game for a guy like Donovan Jones, who I think Michigan State was trying to test and try to pick at a little bit last week. And I would assume Maryland's going to go over there again and see what he's made of. The good thing for Donovan is his best football has come in the 2 games he's played in away from Memorial Stadium, I think, the Pinstripe Bowl and the game at Arrowhead. So that's a matchup to maybe highlight.
Amazing stat from Keith Mann in the Nebraska Athletics Department. Nebraska did not allow a pass play of 20 or more yards until Michigan State hit a 24-yarder on that kind of garbage time drive with the backup quarterback in the 4th quarter on Saturday. Every other FBS team has allowed at least 5 passes of 20 plus yards this season, which is I mean, it's sort of amazing. And you're right, BC. Like, at a certain point, you just have to say, all right, well, they're good, and all the peripheral stats, like, they check out as well. I think I think it's probably time to say it. That secondary is pretty dang good.
Yeah, that's an incredible stat. And that was the drive with the backup QB at the end that Sierra Wright wasn't happy about. There's if you look at the top 10, I mean, yeah, you're right. The next best team is James Madison, and they've given up 5, and then Alabama 6. Indiana's playing good. They've given up 6. So Nebraska's way ahead in that regard. I think the biggest thing, you talked about it off the jump, and it's right. Maryland is not a good rushing football team, and their stats are abysmal. Actually, they're 18th in the league and 128th in the country. That said, I don't discount that they're going to look at Nebraska's defense over the course of this season and say, let's see if we can find some leaks there and make things a little bit more comfortable for our freshman quarterback. And so as much as it does seem like, okay, can Nebraska's strength kind of stop Maryland's strength with the passing offense? I don't think we should fly over that. Run defense needs to build off what they did last week. They've got to stop the run first, make sure that valve is shut off, and then earn the right to get to the passer. And ideally, you come out like, the first series last weekend, I thought, Javen Wright, when he was hurdling over a blocker, and, Deshaun McCulloch was sort of relentless, and you felt it from Williams Nwaneri. I think in that first series of the game, Aiden Childs knew, like, okay, I'm in for one today. These guys are coming downhill at me. And that's the sort of pressure they're going to need, tomorrow against a team that I think Maryland's only given up 2 sacks or something like that. So, I mean, they've done well at protecting their quarterback so far.
Yeah, that's where Nebraska's lacked a little bit as well, although you just mentioned a couple of those plays. I think it's funny, BC, like, people have this image in their head of what a good defense is. I think it starts with, being really, really, really stout against the run. And we've seen a couple instances this year where that hasn't necessarily been the case for Nebraska. But I was going through the drive charts yesterday, and, they've allowed, I think it's 10 touchdowns this year over these 5 games. And they've got 8 turnovers, 8 takeaways. Like, they're doing their job. I maybe it doesn't look how we traditionally, sort of want it to look, being big and physical up front and sort of intimidating in that way. But I mean, the defense is more than doing their job at this point as a whole.
Yeah, and there's a couple of key things that have happened, I think. Besides, obviously you got the young gun and Williams Nwaneri, who I think is maybe ahead of the curve than we suspected. But to have a successful season, you need like a story like Elijah Judy as a senior, sort of finding the best football he can play. And I feel like the last couple of weeks, he's kind of done that. He had that sack on Child that actually took him out of the game, and he played well against Michigan. He was the guy who forced the fumble and all that. And I think it's another big week too for the linebackers who, I think they kind of had a rough day in the loss to Michigan, but last week, I think Javen's feeling a little more comfortable. As much as we like have fun with the fact that he's, like close to retirement age and he's still playing college football and all that. He's relatively inexperienced at specifically what he's being asked to do right now. And last week to me was the best game of his career. So if he can have that be, not every week you're going to get 3.5 TFLs, but if you can be consistently just a problem maker like he was in that game, and Shaver's I think he's going to just keep getting better and better. But this is a big week for that second level crew, and maybe we see a little more Dawson Merritt too. Who knows? How
do you think Nebraska plays it offensively on tomorrow with a defense that's altogether pretty stout on the Maryland side, and a lot has been made about especially their front and their couple edge rushers that have gotten after the quarterback pretty damn well, as you mentioned. How do you think Nebraska kind of starts their attack against Maryland tomorrow?
I think they're going to want to get that run game actually going a little bit more. They think they can do it better than the narrative is. And so this would be a good time to show that against, as you said, a defense that has been pretty stout. It's kind of an interesting matchup though, Hap, because Maryland's front has been good. They've gotten pressure. You like their numbers, and yet you're like, man, their best players are like really young. Like you have freshman guys who are sort of studs for them, and that doesn't mean they just can't continue being that. But I do wonder if there's a piece of offensive coordinators across the league, including Dana Holgorsen, who's like, let's try that out a little bit. Let's see if we can't, with some of our older linemen, get after those guys a little bit in the run game. And kind of prove that we can flex there like we think we can. You got to get the ball out quicker. So I think, you look for some screen stuff or some innovative ways to just sort of get that feel going in the game. I think off the bat where it doesn't feel like you're constantly backtracking or under heat. So I expect the ball to come out early in that first series. And I think they'll go heavy run too. I actually do. I think they're going to want to show that they can do that after all the talk the last couple of weeks.
I definitely think they'll try to kind of poke away at it, just like, hey, let's, not necessarily test the waters because you kind of have to commit to it and dive in a little bit. But I agree with you, BC. I think they'll take a couple cracks at the middle of that defense and see where they go from there.
And don't you suspect, Dane Key, obviously plenty made of not catching a pass last week, of course, limited snap counts and all that for the offense. But I would suspect they might want to get him the ball in the first series, just like you get him a touch, sort of get that off the plate and see if he can take off. Cause this would be a big week for him to, if Isaiah Hunter has 100 yards and Dane Key has 40, that's fine. But obviously you want to get him involved more than it has been.
I haven't listened to the Hypecast this week, but I would imagine a really dull, oddly specific prediction could be like Dane Key is going to get a play scripted to him on the first drive. That's going to happen.
Yeah, I should have done that. I'm a dumb butt and didn't, because that would have been like taking free money. But yeah, that seems like almost obvious. So you'd almost be shocked if he didn't have a catch within the first two series.
I think so too. All right, BC, safe travels. We'll be praying for you. Get out there safely.
Yeah, I might need it. Thanks for having me.
Ryan Christopherson, Husker 24/7. You can check out all of BC's coverage from College Park this weekend. We'll see what the crowd's like tomorrow. Heard there might be a little bit of rain, but high 60s, a nice fall day in Maryland tomorrow for the fourth all-time matchup between the Huskers and the Terps. All right, we'll be back. Peter has the odd news when we return on 1620 The Zone.
And now we've reached the point in the show where Josh Odson reads the peculiar, the bizarre, the comical, the odd news with Odd Son. Odd news, Odd Son. See what we did there? The odd news with Oddson.
John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt has chimed in with his weekly Nebraska should win by 100 or I'll be pissed on YouTube. Nebraska 33, Maryland 3, anything less and I'll be pissed at Snake Oil Rule. This is a good bit by John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt. I like this. He's doing it every week now. Nebraska should win by X amount of large points. Otherwise, I'll be pissed at Snake Oil Rule. It's like a Mad Lib in a way. I'd be curious to see what happens.
Maybe as he gets him from the Mad Libs.
Next Friday night against Minnesota. All right, Peterman is here. Peter, you've been complimented many, many times today. They say, we love the Peterman.
I love everybody.
And they love your shirt. Some people like your shirt. It says Coca-Cola. He's already had a Diet Coke with lime today. Wow. Look at that.
Yeah, the here, I'll show it to the camera here. Pretty good. And it's got the 80s style can design.
Yeah, so this is an Odson joint because he saw it and it was new at the grocery store and he was like, you know what? I'm gonna buy those.
And I a few, like I think 2 months ago, they did this with Diet Coke Cherry, and I sent it to Josh and I'm like, this is good stuff.
Yeah, the Diet Coke. They used to make the Diet Coke with limes like in regular cans.
Yeah,
and they must have discontinued it. And now they've brought it back in a retro can. I'm sure it's going very well because people like retro stuff. All right, what do we got today, Peter, man?
All right, today we got a few things. And admittedly, this first one is from a couple nights ago. It's from the night of Game 3 of Phillies Dodgers.
Okay,
and I saw this. And I just let out a huge sigh because I really could not believe it was posted from the official MLB account.
Was it like Matt Rule? Was it like that?
This guy. Well, it's okay.
Was that your sigh?
It's Shohei Ohtani related. That was a similar sigh. I was like, I can't believe this is a real tweet that they put out. It was from about 10:30 p.m. on what night would that have been? Wednesday night. And it is when Phillies are up 3-1, Shohei hits. I got to be honest. Sure, it's kind of it goes to the warning track, but it is never even close to threatening a home run.
Okay.
And I think everyone in attendance was well aware. But like, I'll play the audio for it. You can seek out the actual video if you want. It's on the MLB Twitter. Here's the audio of it.
Okay, let's hear it.
It is the most routine warning track. There is no extra effort put in by the Phillies to get. And I'm just like, really?
And what did MLB say?
The caption is Shohei Ohtani homer ? Caught at the wall ? This was all caps wild.
What?
It was not wild, actually.
Are they doing a bit like about click engagement?
I think it's got to be a bit. I can't believe that was the caption associated with this, and all the replies.
It sounds like an engagement farm.
It really does.
Thumbnail.
And the first reply is from someone that says, "Can't wait for the MLB highlight post of Ohtani almost hitting a home run."
Yeah.
Routine fly ball to the warning track. Wild. And I was like, okay,
they do. I mean, it's a win-lose or it's a lose-lose because like they tweet about their stars and then everyone's like, why do you guys only tweet about Judge and Ohtani? And then they don't, and they're like, and then there's people who are like, well, they need to, like, baseball needs more stars, they need to actually accentuate these people.
And that's where I'll cut them a little bit of slack, but I'm like, holy cow.
Yeah. No, it's the content. It's gotten bad out there, Peter, as we've documented on this show before.
Yes, and at this point, we're all keenly aware, but I felt like including that. We'll go to golf on this next one.
Golf!
So John Rahm is at the Spanish Open currently, and that's out in Madrid. So looks like he got paired up with Shane Lowry, and this is coming off of the Ryder Cup. And I guess he wasn't having the best start on the opening round yesterday.
Okay.
So it says, after his drive found the left rough on the par 4 8th hole, Rom saw his lie and started complaining. What a day, he said, followed by an expletive. The marshal, who marked his ball, said, "It's okay." And Rom immediately looked at him and said, "Don't tell me it's okay, please. Thank you." The marshal apologized as he walked away while Rom continued complaining. It's not okay.
It's not okay. I'm a professional golfer who takes Saudi money to play, and it's my life is not okay.
It's okay, John. No, it's not.
I will say
No, it's not.
it is really funny when golfers complain, and they complain a lot
They do.
about little innocuous things. But I just to quickly give their point of view, probably it's a very detail specific game, and everything has got to be perfect and in concert.
Mhm.
So to a certain respect, I get it. But at the same time, dude, you're all right. You have the best life possible. You have the life that everyone wants.
You could do so bad in this tournament and make millions of dollars.
You travel around the world, play golf professionally at the best courses in the world with the best amenities, make millions of dollars per week, and then go home and practice golf. You play golf professionally. That's what people always say about, oh my God, these golfers, I just can't stand them. They complain all the time. But you get so not surprising.
So John Rahm hopefully has a better
having a bad day, John Rahm.
Mike says, "I'm not okay." John Rahm, Jelly Roll, handshake me.
Whoa, what's up with Jelly Roll?
That's his song. I am not okay.
Oh, okay. I didn't know about
but
that.
It's all gonna be all right. And then you know what, John Rahm, it is gonna be all right because you play golf.
It's not John Carlos' fault.
It's not John Carlos' fault.
It's not It's not the Marshal's fault.
It's not the Marshal at the Spanish Open's fault.
Black Cat wonders if you don't host Jay's Live, do you really have the best job ever? That is a great point. I have the best job ever. The best jobs ever, some are saying. And what else do we got, Peter? We got one more?
We do. This caught my eye because anytime there's Uno-related content, I'm a big fan of Uno, the card game.
Okay.
So anytime I see something centered around Uno, it catches my eye. Apparently, Billie Eilish has released her own set of Uno cards with some custom rules. And I've seen some wild variants of Uno. This one was definitely up there. So there's a rule called Wild Pass Color. So the person chooses a color and every player passes all their cards of that color to the player on their left.
What the hell?
Which is nuts. Trick Wild, you choose a color, and if the next player cannot play a card of that color, you may immediately play again. And this is the insane one to me. The Reveal Hands card. Everyone plays with their hands face up on the table until you start your next turn.
Wow. Those would all throw wrenches into the game quite significantly.
And then this was the last one I noticed. Wild Color Challenge. Choose a color. All other players must show you a card or of that color from their hand or draw 2. If all players show that color, you must draw 3 yourself. So it's basically just another version of Chaos Uno. But I credit Billie Eilish for the creativity here. The Reveal Hands is particularly nuts.
Billie Eilish Uno deck. The Billie Eilish Uno add-on pack is now available for purchase at Target.
So get over to Target this weekend and get your Billie Eilish Uno expansion pack.
Oh, wait, please note that this pack requires a pre-existing Uno game. You already have to have, which everybody does, I guess, but it's not, you don't get a whole new deck. It's not only Billie Eilish cards. You just get to, they just throw those wild cards in there, I suppose.
I guess you just kind of
pay $20 just to get the Billie Eilish wild cards just to ruin your game.
Is that what
Uno?
they are? $20?
That's what I was seeing.
$20 for Chaos from Billie.
Jeez, the Billie Eilish, there it is, Target. Billie Eilish add-on pack. Oh, no. It's $2. So
okay.
Uno add-on pack, Billie Eilish card game for family and game nights, travel, camping, and parties. $199.
Well, that's more reasonable.
I think so, but what is even it? How does it work? Okay. Awesome. I didn't know you were a big Uno guy, Peter.
I do love Uno. I don't love playing cards. I won't just sit around and play cards for hours on end, but I do really enjoy Uno.
Nice game of Uno. Every time I'm we're sitting out there on Thanksgiving or Christmas, my mom suggests every year that we should play a card game or a board game. And then, but it's funny because it's a great tradition in our family. And then my dad just like walks away. He's like, I don't want to play because it's such a waste of time. It's you sit there for 2 hours. What are we doing? Playing Monopoly? Like, are we going to end the game? No, probably not. Does anybody actually care about it? No.
Does anyone want to play
Right,
cards?
let's just go sit and watch TV.
You already know my answer. Your dad just walks away. Doesn't even entertain the offer.
It's fantastic. All right, thanks, Peter. That is the odd news. The noon hour is coming up. Nebraska, Maryland. A brief history lesson. Plenty more coming on 1620 The Zone. All right, wow. Just got a text from our dear producer, Josh Odson. What do the burners always say? They always say, I just received a text, and all I can say is, wow. That's engagement farming in 2025. I just got a text, and all I can say is, wow. Here is from Josh Odson. Happy to report our city's airport construction is coming along nicely, although I didn't see much of it as I would never go in. I just drive directly onto the tarmac. Wow. Josh. Just classic Josh telling people about his privilege. I am excited to travel in our airport like a normal human being, going through all the lines and all the various things, except for I do have TSA pre-check. But my wife, so this is a problem. I have TSA pre-check, but my wife doesn't have TSA pre-check. I travel more than she does.
She just doesn't really think
like,
it's worth it.
Yeah, she's like, I don't need it. And so we're traveling together for the first time on a plane in a while on next Friday. And I'm like, honey, we got a problem. I got TSA pre-check and you don't. And you never know what you're going to walk into when you fly out of Epley on like at 6 o'clock in the morning, because they do that thing where they stack like 6 flights at one time, and all the people are getting to the airport at the exact same time. So for no reason whatsoever, there's 300 people in one TSA line at the same time. And you're like, I'm in Omaha at this airport. There's 2 flights outbound at this time. How is this possible? It's because both planes are literally in the same line. And those are the only 2 things going on at the airport. The TSAs and staff yet. Oh yeah. By the way, we're on government shutdown. So I was like,
God, I forgot about
this is a real issue. This is a real issue. And she was like, oh, well, you can leave me. And I said, I'm not going to leave you.
You can leave me.
I said, I'm not going to leave you in line. We're going to just have to get there early, I guess, and not use my beautiful, beautiful TSA
I was going to say,
pre-check.
are you going to make the ultimate good husband move and wait in the regular line?
Yeah, I think I'll have to. I'm not going to go through. I'm not going to la-di-da-di-da go through security.
I think
keep my shoes on. And meanwhile, my wife is miserable in the behind 300 people.
I think it'd be funny if at the last minute you just go to the TSA pre-line and then you go to the bar and you're just waving at them while
I get through there and I'm hammered at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, good to see you. Did you make it through the regular line?
Yeah. So text comes in from the 402. You don't have a problem. It sounds like she has a problem. No, but her problems are my problems. So that's the way that marriage works. I'll report back. It's actually next Thursday. I'll report back and we'll let you know how that situation goes.
That's a dilemma.
It is. Thank you, Fred. It is indeed a dilemma. All right, welcome back. Noon hour of the Connor Happer Show. You're on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. Good job for Josh. He is hopped on his PJ, parked his car in the tarmac, and skipped all the lines all together. Busy weekend this weekend, of course. As always, big red overreaction follows Nebraska and Maryland. So it's a 2:30 kickoff. That puts Big Red Overreaction on the air at hopefully latest 6 o'clock. Latest.
Probably looking at it about 5:45, 6 o'clock.
Latest, let's just say latest 6 o'clock. John and Gary, both Cubs fans, deciding Brewers-Cubs game, blood rival, deciding playoff game, 7 o'clock. So you do with that information whatever you please. But they will still be on Big Red Overreaction for a certain portion of time. 1620 The Zone and 1019 The Kick. It's brought to you by Equitable Bank, No Name Nutrition, Jason and Contracting, Dingman's Collision Center, Mechanical Repair, Prairie Flower Casino, and Peerless Energy Systems. And then, of course, Sunday, Severe Reaction at 8 o'clock. That is always going to be at 8 o'clock, and it will always be until 10 o'clock on 1620 The Zone with Michael. And it's brought to you by Equitable Bank and Nebraska Medicine. Our weekly history lesson, Nebraska and Maryland. They do not have a lot of history together. Oh, by the way, I got an email from John in the Equitable Bank inbox. says, I am pre-checking, my wife is not. I tried to go through the regular line with my wife and they turned me away and they made me go through the pre-check line. What? That can't be right.
Really?
That really? John, I don't need to follow up on that. I guess when you told me what happened, so I don't know, is that a rule? Like people with pre-check literally can't go the through the normal? That doesn't feel right. That feels like misinformation to me, but I don't know. Another suggestion from the text line, just drop her off at the airport 2 hours before you have to go.
Circle back around.
That's a bad idea. That's a bad idea.
I'll be back.
Well. Okay. All right. So history lesson. Here we go. 2-1 Nebraska's record all time is against the Terrapins. Just 3 meetings. November 19th, 2016, November 23rd, 2019, and November 11th, 2023. So here's a stat for you. If you just heard it, these teams have only ever met in the month of November, which is, like I said, it's a stat, but it's not really a stat. It might be something. If you want to like go to a tailgate tomorrow, it's like, oh, did you know that this is the first time these two teams have ever played each other ever in the history of time, not in November? There you go. Take that one to your party. You'll be the smartest person. So for this week, we go back to the time machine of 2016. Let's set the scene first. Mike Riley's second year. And you know, I wouldn't say that everything is sunshine and rainbows at this point, even though Nebraska's record coming into this game was 8-2. Nebraska at one point was 8-2. In fact, they won that game and went to 9-2 under Mike Riley. They won 9 games and Mike Riley was their coach. All right.
Wow.
Does that tell you anything about Nebraska's ability to win 9 games this year? I think it should. Maybe we shouldn't be all that surprised about Nebraska winning 9 games. They won 9 games with Mike Riley as their head coach. All right. So they were 8-2 going into the game. They lost to Wisconsin in overtime, and then they got blasted into oblivion by Ohio State the week after that, of course. But this was a couple of weeks later. Their next game after the Ohio State game was Minnesota at home. They won by a touchdown. Got a late score from Tommy Armstrong, a running touchdown. And I remember that play. I was in the house that night, and he pulled up. He had a hamstring, basically right as he was crossing the goal line. Ripped his hamstring into shreds, and then they carried him off the field. Tommy, you're our hero. You're our savior. And he kind of put the team on his back during that game in particular. Won the game against Minnesota, but then, of course, was not available the next week in Nebraska's home game against the Maryland Terrapins. So the Huskers turned to Grand Island's own Riker Fife. Riker Fife became the first starting quarterback. How about that? Here's another stat for you. I'm full of stats today. Riker Fife in that game, in the 2016 Maryland game, became the first starting quarterback not named Tommy Armstrong or Taylor Martinez to win a game for Nebraska since Cody Green against Colorado in 2010. Nebraska went, I mean, that's not that crazy, I guess, but when you think about it over a 6-year time frame, it's 2 quarterbacks, and they were, for the majority of their, although I think you think back at Tommy and Taylor in particular, he was hurt a little bit in the games that he did miss. They lost. Same thing with Tommy. So the first non-named Armstrong Martinez quarterback to win a game for the Huskers since Cody Green in 2010. He did this in November of 2016. It also would have been Sam Fultz's senior day this day, which is part of, what propelled Nebraska, I think, a little bit that season from an emotional standpoint. Maryland, because of some of its injuries at quarterback, turned to a man named Max Bortenschlager. Do you remember Max Bortenschlager, Peter?
What a name.
Bortenschlager was humming it that day. No, he wasn't. His primary job was to hand the football off and most prominently get the ball to his budding star junior wide receiver, DJ Moore. You know about DJ Moore?
Oh, do I?
You should know about DJ Moore. DJ Moore has had a nice little NFL career now.
Doing well.
DJ Moore had 6 catches for 124 yards in Memorial Stadium that day. They met again in 2019. Nebraska, this time, the vibes were much, much worse. They were riding a 4-game losing streak as the season and the Scott Frost era, may I add, began to get a little bit loose on the tracks, or at least by this point you were wondering, like, ugh, what is going on? Why are they losing all these games? It's year 2. They're supposed to be winning. And this was the canary in the coal mine in 2019 for Scott Frost. A steady 54-7 shellacking. Set up a home game with Iowa with bowl eligibility on the line. Of course, they did not get bowl eligible. But in that Maryland game in 2019, J.D. Spielman went ham. This will not be the last time that J.D. Spielman gets mentioned on this show today.
Ooh.
It was probably the most drama-free win of the Scott Frost era. Either Nebraska lost or won with drama. Pretty much always in the Scott Frost era. This one, not the case. They won without drama. So nice job by Scott Frost, who picked up his 7th or 8th win at Nebraska by the end of year 2. And like I said, set up an opportunity for bowl eligibility. And that's when Keith Duncan rolled in and started blowing kisses at everybody. And then 2023 in Lincoln. Offense is on the major struggle bus by this point, and maybe no better exemplified by the most recent game between the Huskers and the Terps. 3 quarterbacks played. All 3 quarterbacks played in this game. Heinrich Harburg was the starter, and that wasn't going to change, but the Heine man got hurt in the second quarter of the game, and Nebraska turned to Jeff Sims. Nebraska's down 7-0 at half, and they turn to Jeff Sims, who did enough to give Nebraska a 10-7 lead in the game, but then was yanked from the game for, guess what, John? I'm waiting for your email right now. Turning the ball over 3 times. He turned the ball. He had a great drive. It was one of their best drives of the season, to be honest with you. Great drive. Nebraska takes the lead 10-7, and he also had a fumble earlier, and I think he threw 2 picks. He turned the ball over 3 times on 4 drives, but the other drive was a touchdown. I mean, it was frankly incredible. The statistical improbability of what Jeff Sims was able to do, the rate he was able to turn it over was unbelievable. He got yanked, and that made way for Chubba Purdy. This is the point we move into the Chubba portion of the season. Chubba came into the game and took over. His first series was a 4th quarter drive that started at Nebraska's own 3-yard line. He was excellent. He drove Nebraska all the way down the field. Nebraska looks like they're going to take the lead and win against Maryland, saving, getting to bowl eligibility, getting to that 6th win, and not even having to worry about it against Iowa, Wisconsin, or Iowa. And he goes all the way down the field, gets to the 7-yard line, and throws a horrible pick in the end zone. Do we remember this? This was bad. All 3 quarterbacks turned the ball over at least once. It was a complete and utter offensive disaster the last time that Nebraska played Maryland. That was our history lesson for this week. Couple texts or a couple comments. First of all, from the 402, if Riker freaking Fife can beat Maryland, I think Dylan should be fine too. A fine take by the texter there. And then a couple people letting me know about the pre-check line and things like that. Matthew says Nevada legend Chubba Purdy. Let's see. John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt. Why are you, Connor, going through this history? I missed the point of this. I don't know. We just do this
because it
week.
Prompts important calls like the one we just got, where I was reminded.
Peter, tell me
that as of right now, in his 6th year of college football, Mr. Purdy has 1 touchdown and
Chubba.
8 interceptions,
Does
which I
he
was not
really?
aware of.
Oh, we got to verify this.
So that is, just was notified of that current stat line.
Thank you, caller, who just said that to
I
Peter.
totally forgot to ask who was calling, but thank you for the info.
Chubba. He is playing at Nevada. God, his stat reference page is so funny. Florida State, Nebraska, Nevada. 3 schools, 6 years. Okay. Here's what we got. 5 games. 40 for 77, which is a 52% completion rate, 494 yards, 1 touchdown, and 8 interceptions. Whoa. And his 8 interceptions, I believe when it's bolded, it leads the country, right? I believe his 8 interceptions are
Is that what that means?
are the most in America. Chubba. And then Jeff Sims gets a start this weekend. So what do you know? Jeff Sims and Chubba. Where's Nevada play this weekend? We got to go check these guys out. They played. So he must have been benched because last week they played at Fresno State and he only threw 4 passes, or maybe he got, oh my God, he threw 4 passes and 2 picks. Chubba threw a pick at Penn State, 2 picks at Sacramento State, 1 pick against Middle Tennessee State, 2 picks against Western Kentucky and Fresno State each.
Goodness.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Those quarterbacks, it's frankly amazing. Think about those 3 people that I just mentioned, Peter. All right. So 2023 Maryland, last time Nebraska played Maryland. Heinrich Harburg was their starter. What does Heinrich Harburg do now? He blocks extremely well and sometimes catches the ball for Nebraska as a tight end. Amazing, right? Not very often you see the quarterback to tight end move, but we love it. Jeff Sims transfers. He's Arizona State's backup quarterback. This is his 100th year of college football. Chubba transfers. The starter at Nevada before throwing 8 picks so far in his super duper senior season. I mean, that's what Nebraska was dealing with at quarterback. And by the way, I should mention this as well. Offensive coordinator Marcus Satterfield. That was a bad combo. I'll just say it.
Not a great combo.
I'll just say it. I think that was not a very good combo. And frankly, it puts a whole new spin on Nebraska's 2023 season. When you think about it that way, you're like, oh my God, how did they actually win 5 that year? Nice job, Matt Rule.
Great work.
Congratulations. But then people will email me and they'll say, well, they didn't have to do that, Connor. They didn't have to take Jeff Sims. And yes, that was a mistake. John emails in, was waiting for this. Sims, that guy sucked. What a great choice by Rule. Remember when he was an NFL quality quarterback? I remember when people were saying that. Yes. Also, a couple people following up on the pre-check thing. So John says it's 100% true. It was the first flight of our trip flying out of Omaha. I don't know if it's a rule or not, or if the agent was just being a jerk. She's gotten the pre-check on her boarding pass a couple of times. When I asked about it, they said sometimes they give it to a traveling companion if one has it and the other one doesn't. Maybe you'll get lucky. Oh, okay. Yeah, so I hope that happens.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
I hope that happens. Also, somebody texted in and said, yeah, that they thought that was a rule. Andrew tweeted in. He said, if you have pre-check, you have to use that line. My wife is a teacher, and when we take her kids to national journalism conventions, we have to tell the parents, no pre-check, so that everyone stays together. Oh, man. Triggered. Have access to pre-check. Don't use pre-check. Sounds bad. Sounds like a bad deal. All right, we have plenty to come today. Don't forget to stick around for producer Josh's hype speech. He still delivers.
He does. Even when he's in the sky.
Time. I have I'd like to look at the other games. I mean, I'm picking out 4 that are going to be excellent watching this weekend: Oregon, Indiana, Missouri, Alabama, Oklahoma, Texas, and Ohio State, Illinois. Although I don't know Ohio State, Illinois is going to be very good, but it is a game that we'll talk about briefly. A couple notes for you all. We still have plenty to come when we return on the Connor Happer Show right here on 1620 The Zone. I know maybe a couple weeks ago it was mentioned, maybe it was on a crossover, or maybe Josh and John mentioned in the afternoon, but I wholeheartedly agree with it, that we should ban Ross Dellinger. Not that Ross Dellinger is doing bad work, he's doing great work, actually, but just the things that he reports on are sometimes nauseating, right? So this, of course, is regarding the Big Ten's investment fund, private equity situation that they are, looks like, trying to do a deal with. The entity is reportedly revealed itself, according to Ross Dellinger of YahooSports.com. An investment fund of the University of California pension system is in negotiations with the nation's largest and perhaps most valuable collegiate athletic conference to infuse about $2.4 billion in immediate cash to its 18 schools and help create the conference's long-discussed subsidiary. Big Ten Enterprises is what they're calling it. Those with knowledge of the negotiations spoke to Yahoo under the condition of anonymity, as they were not authorized to speak about the potential 20-year agreement with the UC Pension Systems Investment Fund, better known as UC Investments, a $190 billion entity responsible for managing the system's portfolio. UC Investments manages the endowment and retirement savings of the UC system and is independent from the universities within the system, like UCLA and Cal. The Big Ten's year-long exploration of the private investment world is at its seminal moment, with a decision expected in a matter of days. Under the proposal, UC Investments would finance the potentially groundbreaking deal with the league to deliver an average of $140 million to each of the conference's schools in upfront payments. So that's on average, though. Here's some of the details, and I mentioned this, when the details were coming out a week or two ago. In what is described as a, quote, sale of equity, UC Investments would provide an infusion of roughly $2.4 billion in a one-time equity distribution to the conference. And they will then own a 10% stake in this thing called Big Ten Enterprises and receive a cut of the league's annual distribution. The $2.4 billion will be distributed to the league's 18 schools in an uneven way, with the portion also used to create Big Ten Enterprises, a private offshoot of the league intended to better monetize the conference's assets in the more professionalized environment of college athletics. So all the schools will receive $100 million at least up front. The bare minimum that you get immediately from this investment fund is $100 million, each Big Ten school. One-time payments. But there will be some schools that make more. 8-figure bonuses are also expected in fiscal year, 2037. The Big Ten's TV partner Fox is scheduled to have their deal end, likely triggering a significant media rights fee increase. So schools get bonuses in that year. So they're going to get $100 million now and probably more, in 10 years when the media rights deal that time ends again. And of course, these payouts to the individual schools. So you're asking, what does this mean for me? The payouts to the individual schools seem like they will be, and I'm trying to just skim through the details here, will be decided on brand value, based upon brand value. Like, how much are you bringing in for the league, right? So if you're on Big Ten, if you're on Big Noon Fox a lot, Ohio State, you're probably going to be viewed as a more valuable member of the conference than a school that never plays on Big Noon Fox. That's just one example. So I would imagine that Nebraska would be a school that is toward the top middle, I guess, top 5 or 6, I think, in terms of like payout that they're going to get from this. They're still one of the biggest brands in the conference, but there you go. That's what it is. It is the UC, the University of California pension system, aka UC Investments. Not quite as maybe inflammatory or polarizing as some of the other entities that it could possibly be. Black Cat says, "Boo, bring in the Saudi blood money." Yeah, did not quite get there. All right, welcome back, Connor Happer, Peter Krenzer with you here on this Friday. We are happy that you are. Don't forget, stay tuned. Our Keys and Peas are coming up in the 1 o'clock hour. Josh's hype speech and all of the rest. Let's take a look at some of the other games this weekend. I'm excited we're going to pick out 4 college football games here. We'll start with Oregon and Indiana. All right. It is Indiana's opportunity to shut up some people, including myself, for the record. I like I said, I will have to drop this whole Indiana thing if they win this game. Going on the road to one of the elite teams in the country, with a national audience, top 10 battle, like I don't have any more. I don't have any excuses anymore if Indiana is able to win this game. Black Cat, I will wear the SIGs shirt. I will wear the SIG shirt.
He will wear it.
I will wear it. I'll do it. I'll wear the SIG shirt. I don't know where maybe I'll have to buy it and then I'll have to wear it, but I will have to give in. The jig would be up at this point. So inside the game, we said it with Oregon Penn State a couple weeks ago. We know one thing about Oregon. We know that Oregon is going to bring it, right? We know that they're not the kind of team where they go into this big game and you're like, oh, what kind of Oregon are we going to get today? No, you know exactly what you're going to get with Oregon. They are a tough, physical, mentally tough, dynamic, fast, whatever it might be. They're all of the things that a program can be. Oregon is running it very, very, very well right now. Indiana is they have, I think, some scheming to do in this game. They're a little reliant on explosive plays. And when they get 500 of them, like they did against Illinois, they win by 1,000,000 points. I know both of those numbers are exaggerations, but they were popping big plays all over the place, just like they were against Nebraska last year. And they won each of those games by, going away. They were over by halftime, basically. Can they do that against the Oregon defense? Because we've seen, what now? 2 or 3 or 4 different occasions in which Indiana just gets stifled. You can't keep them off the board. They're going to get theirs. But they get slowed down. They get suffocated. Iowa did it to them a couple of weeks ago. That was the last piece of evidence that we have. Ohio State obviously did it last year in the regular season. Notre Dame did it in the playoff. They very rarely get in their own way, right? So can Oregon's defense do the same type of things that Iowa was doing to them a couple of weeks ago? Because they look like a completely different team if it's not popping, just bang, bang. You kind of know what it looks like. Geez, they're relentless. They're all over you. And once they get that ball rolling downhill, they're a really tough team to stop. If there is a critique on Indiana, it's that they appear to not look comfortable when they're in the slop, when they're rolling around in the mud a little bit. And I think Oregon is talented enough, physical enough, and is dynamic enough, meaning that they can play in a variety of different ways where they can choose and dictate what kind of game that they want to play. And if I'm obviously if I'm Oregon, I'm trying to just slow them down as much as I possibly can, right? Just roll around in the mud a little bit because like I said, they do not appear to be comfortable in those situations. So I think that's the thing that I'm looking out for in that game. But like I said, what a monumental game for the Indiana football program. if they're able to win it, it is I know we banned this word a couple days ago on the show, but it's a game changer. It's a very, very
unbanned just for now.
Yeah, unbanned and then now rebanned. Unshunned, reshunned. Missouri, Alabama. Is this the one for Missouri? They've basically gotten blasted by every ranked team that wasn't. I mean, last year, this is exactly what happened. They got blasted by every ranked team that wasn't named Boston College last year. They played Boston College as a ranked team earlier in the season. And then they kind of just stayed in the back end of the top 25, would lose their big games, would win all their other games, lost to South Carolina in a big game late in the year. And that was a story on Missouri. Building and building and building. Many people think this is the Missouri team to get the breakthrough. And they also think that this is the Alabama team to get. It's at Faurot Field. It's in Como. It's going to be hot. And by hot, I don't mean temperature. I mean atmosphere. Hot and angry and drunk as
heat.
hell on Saturday. It's going to be a sight to behold. Missouri's defense is excellent. It's excellent. And their offense has a little trouble protecting, but it seems like Bo Prabula, the backup quarterback from Penn State last year, that move is a hit. I mean, he's kind of a baller. So if he can get going against this Alabama defense and get a little bit of offense out of him, I do like their defense against Alabama. And I know Kalen DeBoer is a really talented coach, and he'll scheme some things up to be able to move the ball through the air. Alabama offensively, obviously, they're talented as anybody in the country still, as always. But I don't know. There is a little bit of a different feeling about this one from the Missouri side, but at least from my standpoint. Like I usually look at I see Missouri pop up with like a top 15 game against another SEC team. And I'm like, okay, I've seen this movie before. I know what happens. Missouri loses. I am not all the way convinced of that this time. Red River. I think that people that are picking Texas outright are probably just leaning in heavily on the idea that this game is always just a nut factory. It's a cluster.
There's no rhyme or reason to anything that happens.
Correct, which is sound logic, sound college football logic, to be honest with you. But I'm going to use some football brain with this. It's not Arch Manning's fault, but Arch has struggled this year. He's always under pressure. And what do we know about Oklahoma's defense? They are a menace, and they are going to bring it. They brought heat against Michigan, completely stifled that offense, whether it be the run game, the pass game, and then anything else they tried to do. I mean, like, I view Oklahoma's defense like Ohio State's defense, and look at what Ohio State's defense did to Texas, or they manhandled them, right? And they really made Arch Manning look uncomfortable. So I just don't know where Texas finds the points here. I don't know where Texas finds the points, and it also sounds like John Mateer is playing,
which is nuts.
Which is crazy. Also, shout out to the guy at the convenience store. He nailed it, right? The guy who said, "Hey, John Mateer just came in, and I asked him, what are you playing?" Right? And he was like, "Yeah, don't worry, I'm going to play on Saturday." And that also brings up the very funny tweet from Pete Thamel yesterday. Did you see the tweet from Pete Thamel yesterday?
I don't think I saw this.
AKA Mr. Pete Tweets. I'm going to read it to you. It is a word salad, Peter. It's very, very funny. All right. Sources. Oklahoma quarterback John Mateer is in line to attempt to play against Texas on Saturday. His injured right hand will be monitored, and there's no certainty he'll be able to go. He's listed as questionable. He continues. Mateer's pain level and grip on the ball are the two biggest variables, as he'll be 17 days out from surgery. He's practiced some for OU this week, as he's been pushing toward a return that would dovetail with the most aggressive timeline post-surgery. So thank you, Pete, for that delicious salad.
What a good salad.
Good salad that you served us. Have you paid attention to any of the Mateer Watch stuff this week, Peter?
I've seen a little bit of it.
It's been great. It's been truly hilarious.
It is.
So they're playing it,
and
like,
it's really ramped up the last few days.
Well, they're playing
obviously.
It's like true old school college football style. Like, so they usually practice outside, and it's early fall. It's lovely in Oklahoma, And
Turns out they never practice.
and they usually practice outside. And obviously, you had all these people like just trying to get sneak previews of what the hell was going on in practice. And Brent Venables is like, it's hot outside today. I think we'll move practice inside. And he said that at his press conference. He goes, it was hot outside. It was not hot outside. It was like in the 70s. It was perfect or whatever.
It was so hot.
It was not hot outside. They moved practice inside. It's great. I love the smoke and mirrors of this entire thing. I think he's playing. From what it sounds like, he got upgraded to, I believe, is probable on the list last night. So I think he's going to go. How effective is he? I don't know, but I just think they have more points. I just think Oklahoma has more ability to score.
So he's in line to potentially, probably, most likely
warm up,
start and warm up.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's sort of like the. I guess I would view this as the undercard to the main events of the day. Those three games I just mentioned. The undercard is Ohio State and Illinois. It is technically two ranked teams. Ohio State's defense is incredible, and their offense is totally passable. It's totally fine. Julian Sand hasn't had to do anything this year. Congratulations to him. It's a great job if you can get it. I'm a quarterback of a national championship caliber football team. I don't have to do anything.
We will never allow any points.
At least yet. There will be a moment where he'll have to do something, but he'll have enough experience under his belt by the time, where they could really let him loose. But is there any chance that Illinois can turn this into such a big rock fight and make one more play? I just sort of doubt it in this game. And they're 14.5-point underdogs as well. So be tough to see Illinois getting very many points here. Ohio State's defense is just fantastic. So those are our big games of the weekend. And I am very, very excited for a week like Nebraska's away. And you get to just sit and watch all of the games. It'll be great. Chance tweets in, not our Chance, a different Chance. He says, you've probably seen this, but it's amazing. It's the video of the Eddie Ratto, the guy from Oklahoma, the Oklahoma Sean Callahan, who was in the bushes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that guy.
Did see that one.
Yep. Fantastic.
Good stuff.
Just fantastic. We love college football, folks. We'll be back after this on 1620 The Zone. couple notes here from the notes. Sorry, I couldn't be more creative with that. Couple notes from the notes.
Notes from the notes.
This is from Keith Mann this week, who sends out the notes. They got to get out there. I'm sure you'll hear them on various broadcasts this weekend. Nebraska is the last Big Ten team to play a true road game in the 2025 season. 18 out of 18. The October 11th date, which is tomorrow, for Nebraska's first game in an opposing stadium, is its latest since playing its first true road game of 2013 at Purdue on October 12th. BC and I talked about that a little bit earlier. And then he said, of course, as he would, because he's Brian Christopherson, I remember that game. And then we talked about it for a couple minutes. Nebraska did not allow a pass play of 20 or more yards in the season until Michigan State got a 24-yard pass in the game's final minutes against Nebraska's second unit in a garbage time drive and against a backup quarterback. Every other FBS team has allowed at least 5 passes of 20 or more yards this season. Frankly, incredible. Nebraska has allowed -1 yards in punt returns this season. Pretty good. You know, back in the old days, all of Nebraska's special teams were a liability. Now, I don't know. They look like all a strength. And then I also pulled this one out because Rule mentioned it on Monday. Nebraska is being flagged for just under 4.5 penalties a game, which is 15th in America. Fewest penalties per game. Also, Nebraska's 39.2 yards per game in penalty yardage is 21st nationally. So a couple good hidden yardage stats are baked into the cake for this weekend. Nebraska checking out on the periphery as well. Somebody called in during the break and they asked Peter. They said, "Peter, please give me more information on the Savannah Bananas thing that you're talking about."
We had a banana call,
and you said, "Well, you got to enter. It's in June. You got to enter the lottery, and good luck." Basically,
yes.
You said, and that's great advice to anybody who intends to attend the game. What do you think? We never talked about this when we talked about it in the crossover. How do we feel about it being on the first Saturday of the College World Series? To us Omahans, because I mentioned this earlier. I got a tweet from last night. Somebody was like, "Well, here it comes. We know Omaha's just very, very jealous that Lincoln got this, and it's overshadowing their precious College World Series." So Gary sort of asked the crossover, do you think that attendance at the World Series will be impacted? I don't see that. I don't think that's the case.
Either.
I think they'll pack it at Memorial Stadium. Don't get me wrong, but I also think they'll pack it at the Chuck Box as well. Is there any sort of bad feelings for people who hold the College World Series near and dear? I know our listeners
chime in.
Our listeners are more. I think we have a lot of listeners in Lincoln, right? So, and they're, excuse me, they're Husker fans. So people who listen to this show during the year, especially during football season, are famously not like College World Series fans, and then they say goodbye to the College World Series. But in case you didn't know, we are 1620 The Zone is the home for the Men's College World Series every single summer in Omaha. So maybe our listeners are thinking, no, I have no problem with this because I wasn't going to go to the College World Series anyway. I went to school at Nebraska. I lived in Lincoln for several years. It was a real adjustment for me when Lincoln just doesn't care about the College World Series at all. They do not care about the College World Series. They don't think about the College World Series. They don't go to the College World Series, at least not. I mean, when it's here, it takes over the town. And I have no doubt that if the World Series was in Lincoln or something like that, it would take over the town. I would imagine that there will be some sort of connection or some sort of involvement, but also I don't think there's any sort of there's any sort of bad feelings. I would assume that the date they picked is purposefully centered around the College World Series.
That's what was my thought. Hey, we'll have the people in Lincoln that aren't even interested in the College World Series that'll come to this. And then the people that are traveling for the CWS but might not be at the games, can come
Yeah.
make the
I think both can help each other.
45-minute drive.
Both can help each other. So I don't think there's any bad stuff. And the state of Nebraska can use it as like, all right, here we are. It's the baseball center of the universe. All we're missing is an MLB game on the Thursday before the College World Series. We got to get that back. Bring it back.
It really stinks
MLB
how fast they just got off of that idea. And
I know.
we're never doing it again.
COVID murdered everything. It's very, very sad.
Give us the draft.
If they put
Royals
the draft
game
here, if they put a Major League Baseball game, had the Savannah Bananas, and open the College World Series,
wow.
And you'd have minor league baseball in town at the same time as well, for the record. I guess I don't know if they're in town at that portion of next year, but yeah, Peterman, check that out.
Let's take a look.
See if the Chasers are in town. You can literally say Eastern Nebraska, Omaha and Lincoln, or just the state of Nebraska, the center of the baseball, the epicenter of the baseball universe. We say we're the epicenter of the volleyball universe all the time, and it's deserved. We're the epicenter of the baseball universe.
Look at that. The Storm Chasers will be in town.
Who are they playing?
The Lehigh Valley
Iron Pigs. Perfect. Look at that. So I think there's some room.
Oh, wait a minute. Actually, it's not Lehigh Valley. It's Las Vegas Aviators.
The Las Vegas
the
Aviators.
LV. They have LHV for Lehigh Valley and LV for. They were trying to throw me off on purpose.
Oh yeah, I would think that would be Lehigh Valley.
I wonder if this is the Las Vegas's first trip, but yeah, it'll be the Las Vegas Aviators that week.
Well, Vegas used to when Omaha was in the Pacific Coast League. I think Vegas was a part.
Yeah, they probably
have
have
been
been here
a part
when they
of
were
that,
over
but
there.
like probably not since they reformatted the entire thing. But yeah, the center of the baseball universe.
Look at that.
There is room for everybody to be happy.
Everyone go to all of the baseball.
See what the YouTube comments are saying here. Let's see. Chance says I might be one of those people. It's one day. In fact, there might be quite a few people who see the Bananas on Saturday and hit the series on Sunday. That's, of course, if I can get tickets to the Bananas. I think the one at Haymarket will actually be pretty cool. It's, small crowd.
Yeah,
like,
it'll be. I think it'll be cool at being in a more intimate
Yeah.
setting, closer to the action.
Andy says Bananas games are probably more affordable for a family of four than College World Series tickets. I would think so. Yeah, if you want to like sit and fix seats or whatever it is. So it will sell out immediately, and their lottery. I read on their website or in Nebraska's release. Let me make sure I get this right, because I know there's people out there who are curious. How do I get tickets? You could join the lottery October 31st. October 31st. I believe that's a Friday. That is 3 weeks from today.
Halloween Friday.
Joining the list does not guarantee the opportunity to buy tickets. A random drawing will take place before the event for the chance to purchase available tickets. If you're drawn, you'll have an opportunity to continue through the verification process. And the lottery list can be found at bananaball.com/tickets. Yeah. They always tell you, like, don't go on the third party stuff for the Savannah tickets. They don't want you to
Don't do it.
Yeah, so
They'll probably pay way too much.
Oh,
That
yeah.
might not even be a real ticket.
Curtis says, hell no, CWS people don't care. It'll give those thousands of kids in the Omaha area here for Slump Busters tournament something to do. That is true. There's some real forward thinking that would have to happen there, but that is true. How many kids are in town for these tournaments during those 10 days of the College World Series? I mean, this is baseball heaven. This is it. We live in this is for that period of time right there, that weekend. This is the center of the baseball world. I think that's a pretty cool thing.
It is good.
All right, we'll come back. 1 o'clock hour, our keys to the game, our picks, Josh's hype speech. It's all coming up on 1620 The Zone. with you on this Friday. Lovely day outside. Thanks for being with us all week, and we will hear more from us this weekend with Big Red overreaction and, of course, severe reaction as well. No 16-20 the pregame this week, though, because it is a road game. Nebraska hasn't had any of those yet.
Forgot what that feels
This
like.
is
We've
a little
had
bit
a lot
different.
of home games.
We don't have to have 16-20 the pregame this week. Our keys and our picks, we'll get to Josh's hype speech as well. Without further ado, here we go. It really is quite the interesting chess match, I think, of a game. You have Maryland's defense that is really pretty sound top to bottom against the run, against the pass. Nebraska, a little bit leaky against the run as a total product at this point, but excellent against the pass. Offenses are both dynamic with the ball through the air. Maryland is basically a 0 with the ball on the ground. Nebraska at least has that in their bag a little bit. So the matchups will be really fascinating in this game. So I think the keys are important. And Nebraska is a 6.5-point favorite. Late. So they always say be early and on schedule. Early and on schedule. How about late and off schedule? That's key number 1. Early down success rate on defense for Nebraska has not necessarily been their calling card this year. They're number 70 in early down EPA per play defensively. Nebraska has to make it difficult when they get to third down because I think their receivers are pretty good. And Washington can certainly extend plays and he's pretty dynamic. But as a team, Maryland's not very good on third down on offense. So if you could get them there, they become obviously extremely one-dimensional. As if they weren't already one-dimensional in the first 2 downs, they become extremely one-dimensional on third down because they know their bread and butter is through the air. And in order to get there and make it more difficult on them, it starts on first and second down. It is a team, like I said, that is not interested in run the ball. Somebody comes up to them and they say, "Hello, would you like to run the ball today?" Just like, would you like to run the tip? Would you like to leave a tip? And they say, "No, thank you. No, we're not running the ball." It's not a team that is interested in running the ball. Don't let them feel like they can. I always say, let the weaknesses be the weakness. Do not let them get a little window of opportunity in an area of the game where the other team has struggled for the entire season or, flat out fails to try. Make them not try to run the ball. They're going to be, and they do a lot to make up for the fact that they don't have a run game. They do a lot of screens and bubbles and RPO stuff. And they're going to do a lot of it on early downs to help the run game. So Nebraska's got to be in its position. And I think their eyes are got to be in the right place and all of those things, no over pursuit and stuff like that. Cause they'll hit you with some scary stuff in the short to intermediate passing game, especially on early down. So late and off schedule. Make those first 2 plays of the drive be uneventful on defense. Key number 2, hack away. Hack away. Like I said, I think it's a pretty solid defense on the other side. We're talking about Maryland now. We're talking about Mr. Turtle. Testudo, by the way, is the name of the turtle. We haven't talked.
I don't think I ever knew that.
We haven't talked much turtle this week.
Testudo,
because I was looking back at the old Husker Max pages, and I remembered that they had a blog at one point called the Testudo Times, and I think I had somebody on from the Testudo Times one year to preview Maryland. Anyway,
I kind of love that. Actually.
Deep thought
Great
in
name.
the thought bank. I don't know that we've talked about the Maryland's defense enough this week. It's pretty good. Now we talk about them from the perspective of they have pass rushers and they're going to end up being pretty good. They're probably going to be NFL players, but we don't talk about the Maryland defense from a holistic standpoint. And maybe it starts there, but altogether, I mean, all their stuff checks out. They are both against the run and against the pass a very, very solid defense. So I do think Nebraska needs to play the long game here. If the game script allows, of course. Now, if you're down 20-0 like Washington was, all bets are off. You gotta start firing. But if the game script allows, I do think that Nebraska can really play game control, ball control by extending a couple drives, running, killing clock, stuff like that. And then once you get a lather up a little bit on the ground, that's a defense that can break either in the pass or in the run game. Explosive pass rates, explosive run rates against Maryland's defenses this year. It's about middle of the road on both sides. It's been proven that you can hit explosive plays on them in the run and pass game. So find a way to, I think, get to that point. And I do think Nebraska is probably there's a lot of different ways you could attack, frankly. It'll be interesting to see exactly what Nebraska feels like it could get done on offense. But I think you start really conventionally. I think you start with the run game and you just start hacking away. Because Matt Rule is always he's gonna say it again after the game on Saturday if they win by a touchdown or whatever. He's gonna say, well, we thought it'd be a tight game going to the fourth quarter, and we got the job done, or everything that we did in the first three quarters sort of got us to that point. And I do think it's a team that you could break up a little bit if you just keep pounding away at them in the run game. People get frustrated and they'll say, they can't run the ball. They're running for 2 yards a carry. Stop it. And then after the game, it said, why don't they run the ball? Because you didn't want them to run the ball. Anyway, it's very complicated around here. I think Nebraska should hack away a little bit in the run game. Not to say that they shouldn't pass, but, commit to it, I think, on the ground. And then key number 3, this is more of a prediction. Peter, are you ready for this? This will take us perfectly into predictions.
Beautiful. Let's hear it.
This key is called, when Mufasa is dead and at the end of Lion King and Simba comes back and he saves the kingdom from Scar, and then Mufasa, the skies open up and dead Mufasa says, my son, it is time. That part?
My son.
What a great moment.
One of my favorites.
One of the best movie moments of all time. And then he climbs up the rock in the rain. Da-da. It is time. What is it time for? It is time for Nebraska to take back a punt or a kick for a touchdown. It is happening this week.
Ooh, baby.
I think we have reached the boiling point on Nebraska actually taking a punt back. Maryland is average in starting field position on defense, which means there is nothing to write home about as far as their punt and kick coverages are concerned. It is time to get it popping. Just so you know, and just so you remember that I said it on this show on Friday, Nebraska's last punt return for a touchdown was J.D. Spielman. Once again, J.D. Spielman mentioned on this show, 76 yards against Alabama, August 31st, 2019. Last kick return for a touchdown, also J.D. Spielman, 99 yards against Arkansas State, September 2nd, 2017. My son, it is time. Nebraska taking... Now, in order for this prediction to really hit, I got to predict which one, right? I got to predict whether it's a kick or a punt. Just, so I can really get the prediction
to really hammer it home. What do you think?
I'll say punt because it seems easier.
I'm with you on that.
But it's not. It's not.
The punt returns this year have looked night and day.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
From last
year. It is way better.
And just like a few turf monster shoestring tackles away, I really thought there might have been a few by now.
They were close.
Little.
It's boiling.
It is boiling.
And they are confident, right? They are confident.
My son,
right? So they are feeling good about themselves, and I think they're. I think something's coming back. Something's coming back for a touchdown in this game, and it could end up being pretty big. By the way, great Lion King references on the remember who you are.
Remember.
What a great movie. I'm due for a rewatch.
So good.
I cry every time.
I do too.
It's a great movie. LLH says it's time for Nebraska to bring back Pride Rock. Also, a punt or kick return would be nice. Also, how about this from the Amazing Daniel? Never seen it.
No.
Yeah, you are in a bizarro Happer situation. Never seen The Lion King, a movie that
Fire it
I
up
have
this
seen.
weekend.
Yeah, watch The Lion King.
Very watchable because it's like less than 90 minutes. It's pretty short.
It's not. It's like it's a kid's movie, of course, but like you don't have to be a kid to love it. You don't have to be a kid.
Pretty much every movie that was made in that time period is just endlessly rewatchable.
Chris says, by the way, on Twitter, this is a good comment. He says, I don't think Maryland is actually very good on defense outside of the pass rush. Wide receivers are always running open. Their whole defense relies on rush disruptions. I mean, Chris, that's fair. Like, whichever way you cut it for them, though, like the stats look good because they're able to pretty consistently get those rush disruptions. Like they're able to bother the quarterback. So, and they're able to, stuff it up in the run game as well. It's not just those two edge rushers. Like they're pretty good on the edge. They're pretty good in the middle too. So, we'll see if Nebraska is able to take advantage of some things on the outside. Great, but you got to get the ball out quick. Like I said, it's a bit of a chess match, I think, for Nebraska on Saturday in Maryland. Nebraska is having a special teams touchdown in this game, not in a block punt, all right, and not in a block extra point that's taken back, or not in a block field goal that's taken back for a touchdown. They are taking one back in this game. John writes in,
Book it.
I have never seen The Lion King either. John, you should watch The Lion King. Everyone should watch The Lion King.
Everybody, please watch.
That is my advice to you all for this weekend. All right, we'll take a quick break. Our picks, Josh's hype speech, it's all coming on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone. But a reminder first, before we make our picks, perfectly timed, Underdog Fantasy, ladies and gentlemen. Football season is in full swing, and Underdog is the best place to get in on all the action. You can make picks and win money right now in the state of Nebraska. Playing on Underdog is easy. Just pick whether your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like rushing yards, receptions, touchdowns, and more. You get those picks right, you go up to 5,000 times your cash. Once again, it's easy, higher or lower. And there's so many options available for you on Underdog. You know what? I even like to throw baseball in there because I'm a baseball hunk. There's some baseball stuff on there. Higher, lower strikeouts on Tarek Skubal tonight in Game 5 for Mariners and Tigers. Just one of the many things available for you on Underdog. Download today and basically tell them I sent you. Happer1620 is your promo code. HAPPER 1620 to score $100 in bonus funds or bonus entries when you play your first $5. That's promo code Happer1620. Underdog, make picks, win money. Must be 19 plus, present in Nebraska. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms. _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. All right, welcome back. Connor Happer, Peter Krenzer with you here on this Friday. Nebraska, Maryland tomorrow. We'll pick it here in just a couple of minutes. Josh Odson will pick it as well, live from the sky. Not live, but from the sky.
From the friendly skies.
Don't forget to go visit our friends, Josh, John, Nick, today out at Roncalli High School. They are getting set up. I think the last couple of years that they've been out there, because I've stopped over the last 2, I think. And I remember it being a little chillier than it is today. A lovely day.
Yeah, great weather.
Go try the best concession foods that you could ever hope to find in America, and go check out Roncalli football tonight. So the boys will be out there this afternoon. I'll do the crossover from here, and we'll see if I have time to go over there, because I always like to take some of their food. That always sounds like a great idea to me. So we'll talk to them here in just a few minutes. Let's get to our picks for the weekend. Quick standings update first. Remember, we pick 5 of the biggest games in college football plus the Nebraska game every week. And I'm very saddened to report that things have gotten bad. Things have gone off the rails a little bit in our pick segment. Last week was a 2-4 week for both of us. Here's what I noted. I have a notes column for all of this. Here's what I noted. On Washington and Maryland, Josh said Maryland would cover and Washington would win. He nailed it. He got a win in that category. I won Wisconsin. He won Michigan. I won Wisconsin versus Michigan. He had the other side. I had Alabama beating Vanderbilt with the late cover. Nice job by me. And we each took very, very tough losses, of course, on Nebraska last week, who did not cover the 10.5 that we picked the game at. If we would have picked the game at 11.5, we would have been okay. But we did not. We picked it at 10.5. We must stick by the rules. All right. So that brings our season totals. I am 16-20. I'm dead serious. 16-20. 16-20 the picks.
I was going to say 16-20 the predictions.
16-20 the predictions. 16-20. Josh is an abysmal, but only 3 games behind me. 13-23. Going into our week here, where we have some lovely games on the horizon.
13-23 the predictions doesn't roll off the tongue as much.
13-23 would be a bad AM signal. Possibly the worst ever.
Maybe the worst.
Let's start with 11 a.m. Fox. Big noon. Gus Johnson, Joel Klatt, and the All-American girl, Jenny Taft, coming to you from Champaign for the second time in 3 weeks. This time, it's the Ohio State Buckeyes at Illinois. Ohio State is a 14.5 point favorite on Big Noon tomorrow. I like Ohio State. Their offense is sort of just tough to read at this point. But like, you just get the sense, all right, we're going to play into the fact that our defense is awesome and we'll score points when we have to. And they really don't have to at all. They beat Minnesota by 100 last week, 42-3 or whatever. And their defense is just really good. I just don't see where Illinois gets enough points to cover 14.5. I don't. So I'm going to go with the Buckeyes here. Peter, do you have a meaningless pick?
I will echo that. I like Buckeyes cover and win.
Josh has submitted what he would say in these situations. He says, feels like a big number for an offense that has training wheels on it. Illinois covers, but still loses by double digits. So,
all right.
So wow, that's very specific. Josh has Illinois losing by somewhere in between 12 and 14, but not more than that, or 10 and 14, but not more than that, which is kind of interesting. Game number 2 for the week. Sorry, let me get back to my picks page here. Let's go to Como. 11 a.m. tomorrow. That's the only disappointing part about this between Missouri and Alabama. 11 a.m. on ABC. It is number 8, Alabama, who is a 3.5 point favorite at number 14, Missouri. On to Josh's pick first. Josh says the following. He says Every year, Mizzou gets this opportunity to showcase themselves in a big game, and they crap their pants. Alabama by more than 3.5. Josh, this year, I'm talking to a fake Josh. I'm buying in. I don't know, man. I'm going with Missouri here. I just think Alabama's a little bit riper for the picking. Obviously, it's not your slightly older brother's Alabama at this point. A little bit different, still good, a little bit different. And I also don't think it's your slightly older brother's Missouri. I think it seems dangerous. I think they have a really good defense, and their offense, it does enough if they can protect Bo Prabula. So I'm going to go with Missouri against my principle, but I'm going with Missouri to cover the 3.5. Peter, do you have a pick?
I will, I'll go Tide by a touchdown. I don't feel great about it, but I'll go Tide by 7. I don't love it. I really don't love it because Missouri's been pretty impressive this year.
All right, we'll see.
Two for
Bama.
Win.
Two for Alabama, 1 for Mizzou. Number 7, Indiana, is on the road at number 3, Oregon, who's a 7.5-point favorite, 2:30 on CBS. Josh's prediction first. He says this: tough pick. I guess I'll take Indiana to cover, but the Ducks keep quacking. That's what he said. So he's got Indiana to cover the 7.5, likely because he knows that I'm not picking Indiana in this game, which I am not. I'm thinking somewhere in the neighborhood of 35 to 20, 35 to 17. That idea for the Ducks. Quack quack.
A quack quack.
Yep.
I like what Josh is thinking. I could see this being just touchdown for touchdown most of the game, and then we're sitting at like 42, and then maybe a late field goal. So I like Indiana to cover 7.5, but I like Oregon to win.
We need a game like that.
Because that feels like an old 2:30. That feels like a CBS SEC,
yeah.
like 40s.
Oh, that'd be
back
great.
And forth. Just no one can stop anybody.
That would be great if we got that.
That feels like it could be one of those.
Although it'd be going on at the same time as Nebraska game, so that'd be kind of a bummer a little bit. But okay, so 2 for Indiana.
A loaded 2:30 window.
1 for Oregon. We go to the Texas State Fair. Number 6, Oklahoma is a 1.5-point favorite. I haven't updated this since last night, so I just locked it in last night. Oklahoma's a 1.5-point favorite against Texas in the Cotton Bowl, 2:30 on ABC. Josh says the following. He says, this game is quite literally insane every year. So what did I say? I think people who are betting Texas in this game are probably just thinking this game is literally insane every year. I nailed it. That this game is quite literally insane every year. I should go against logic and pick Texas, but they've just looked so bad, so I can't do it. Oklahoma is the pick for Josh. I agree. It's another one of those games where I just don't know where Texas gets the points. I don't know where they get the points. Their offensive line is a disaster. Their quarterback has crumbled because of it. Oklahoma's defense is awesome. I just think that math equation is too much to overcome. And then, Mateer, that whole thing. But I think with or without Mateer, I am team Boomer on this one. Give me OU in the Cotton Bowl. Peter?
Agreed. Regardless of what Mateer's availability is, that OU defense is so freaking good.
Sounds like he's playing, for the record, but
it does. Yeah, it's remarkably. It sounds like he is going to play, but I like Boomer in the Cotton Bowl.
Boomer Sooner. All right, so 3 on Oklahoma this week. Now we go to Los Angeles. It's us and USC, not us being UCLA in this case, but USC themselves. Number 15, Michigan, is at USC, who is a 2.5-point favorite, 6:30 on NBC. Josh Odson says the following. He says, this is the type of game that will make Scott Wolf red with anger. Trojans' porous defense ultimately costs them. Michigan plus 2.5 will win outright, although that spread makes me think, what does Vegas know? Oh, were you thinking that USC would be... Oh, I wonder what he was thinking there. I wonder if he was thinking that USC would be a smaller, a lighter favorite or a heavier favorite. Interesting. So he's taking Michigan. I'm not. I'm going with USC at home.
I'm with you.
And I mean, I just think USC Michigan is just a little bit one-dimensional. Obviously we know how they want to get they can certainly have the ability to control the game, but the way USC's offense is playing, it's pretty good. So even though USC lost to Illinois, and this is USC's kind of last stand, they need it. Lincoln Riley is going to hear about it.
He's going to hear it.
He's going to hear about it if Michigan wins this game. So this is a big USC opportunity to get it right against a big program in Michigan. So I will take USC. And finally, we finish number receiving votes. Nebraska is a 6.5-point favorite at Maryland, 2:30 on BTN. Ladies and gentlemen, here's Josh Hodson.
Timing. It's everything. And believe me when I tell you, it's on our side. See, if we were playing the Ninja Turtles 10 days ago, we might be doomed. But as the calendar flips to October, Franklin starts crapping his pants.
What?
Squirtle's got a piss sock.
What?
Bowser made a boom boom.
What?
Yertle yeeted himself.
What?
Oogway made an oopsie.
What?
Crush hates the month of October. You see, in the month of September, Maryland crushes it. But Maryland's won one game the last 3 Octobers. 6 losses over that stretch, about to be 7. Because if you think the twerps are going to win tomorrow, you might be out of your gourd. You see, it's about this time every year that the Turtles blow their foot clean off of their body. Hey, don't shoot the messenger. I like turtles. And I like Mike Loxley, too. His kid was a great Reaver quarterback. Shout out to Kai. But Maryland never gives their fans anything to root for in October. At least they have the Orioles. Well, there's always the Ravens. Oops. Last week, the season turned midnight for Mary. And nothing good happens after midnight. Twerps officially on pumpkin watch. Skurs are getting Filbert at the right time, too. Fan base calling up here, bitching about the number 1 pass defense in all of America. Nebraska, set to shut down your flight plans quicker than TSA this weekend. But Nebraska's so small on the lines. Erroneous! Grow up, Peter Pan, Count Chocula. I'm here to tell you that no amount of Maryland's large family breeding matters when your mama's pushing 4 bills. Jabroni, do you want the noise brought on you? 'Cause here it comes. Sierra Wright, Deshaun Singleton, Taysom McCullough. These boys about to make you feel like you got Visine in your water. Nebraska, 28. Maryland, 21. You bring the crab cakes. because Nebraska's got the football covered.
Nice. Nice.
Nice.
How many turtles can one man name? It's so amazing. I didn't know that there were that many famous turtles.
So many turtles.
I didn't know that there were that many famous turtles.
I was wondering if he would throw in an I like turtles. And he did.
He did.
He did.
He did.
He also got erroneous in there.
Erroneous, a Wedding Crashers reference, large family breeding, crab cakes and football. Like, I mean, just
erroneous on all counts.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. He does it again. And I always like when Josh does the big hype speech only to pick Nebraska, but like, because you feel like it's building to the point where he's like, Nebraska's going to win by 60 points in this game. And then he's like, Nebraska by 7, 28. I love that part.
With the music crescendoing.
So Chance was wondering before if you think if Josh is going to mention Franklin. He did. He did. It was, I think it was the first turtle he mentioned.
Yeah, on the list of turtles.
Yeah, one of the many turtles that got mentioned in Josh's hype speech this week. Nice job, Josh.
Beautiful.
Once again,
Beautiful.
send him a thank you on Twitter or whatever you got to do. He'll get it. He's probably got Wi-Fi on the plane right now because he's living the high life. So just send it his way and he'll know that the hype speech has aired on the show. I am choosing Nebraska to win as well, and I'm also choosing them to cover. 27-17 is the final, and that is the only possible final score that could possibly happen. That's it.
That's it.
That is the correct
Locked
prediction.
and loaded.
I'm going to be correct about all my predictions on Saturday.
And then
Ja'Cory Barney's going to take back a punt or a kick, something like that. Probably a punt because he doesn't really return kicks. And Nebraska's going to win exactly 27-17. You can take it to the bank.
Lock it in.
Peter, you got a score?
I will go 30-20.
30-20.
30-20.
So we both have Nebraska winning by 10. Nebraska got to win by 7. And we'll see if they're able to cover that 6.5 number. When we return, we will get to, I think we had a poll question or two.
I did throw one up there.
And Peter's going to tell you some things that you might be able to watch this evening when we come back on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone. right, welcome back. For the Connor Happer Show here on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. We have a poll question. I think we had one from yesterday in the crossover as well that we can get to. I also wanted to mention this just to do a little tiny honk. So everybody's flying out. You know, if you're covering the team or if you follow Nebraska on the road, you're flying out to the East Coast today. You might be flying into DC. You might be flying into Baltimore. Nebraska, the team uses Baltimore Airport. Some people use DCA. Did you know that Creighton volleyball is also in the DC area this weekend? They're playing Georgetown tonight. Just a fun fact.
Oh,
just a fun fact. So might be there might have been some planes that are leaving Epley today where there was some red folks and some blue folks both on the trip to the East Coast, and specifically the DC area. All right, to the polls at Happer Show. Do you want to see a bunch of yellow dots? No, you never want to see a bunch of yellow dots.
You never do.
83% say no. And the one from today was card games during the holidays. Yes or no? I think it's okay. It's not like a horrible idea, but it happened. It's the same thing happens to me every single year. I'm going to say no.
I think I'll also say no, just because I'm usually too tired. I want to take a nap.
Naps are better than cards. 83% say yes. Okay. So
prompted by our Billie Eilish Uno discussion, which
Yes.
I may have to go by that just to see
check
what
that
it's
out.
all about.
Yeah, you want to get thrown for a loop and have the show your cards to everyone.
If
while
you want to
play.
be at each other's necks during a game of Uno, get
Yeah.
the Billie Eilish expansion.
Super weird. All right, those are the polls. Peter, what are we watching tonight?
I made a nice little handy list of good games that we've got this weekend. Starting tonight, the undefeated Mean Green of North Texas.
Whoa.
I believe I saw that they sold this out. They got the ranked USF Bulls coming to town.
Oh,
That'll be.
Does this game have playoff implications?
It could. It very well could.
South Florida is probably second in the running for Group of Five
yeah,
right now behind
that's where
Memphis.
I would put them.
So North Texas could get their way into the running with a win with this game. Okay,
But
shout
yeah,
out to them boys in Denton.
It should be a good atmosphere. A sold out arena and 6:30 ESPN2 could
Okay.
be a fun watch. Rutgers and Washington,
Yes,
8:00 on FS1, because on the big Fox, it's Seattle and Detroit. Winner take all for a spot in the ALCS.
That is right. May God bless.
God bless.
Our dearly departed Michael Stibbs.
Thinking of you, Stibbs.
Yes, we are.
It'll be a long night for him, but
It will be.
hopefully on the right side of things.
7:08 on Big Fox tonight, and then of course Game 5 of the NLDS, the one remaining NLDS series tomorrow, where we also wish good luck to all of our Cubs fans in our
Mhm.
lives as they take on the Brewers in Game 5 in Milwaukee, or as they call it, I'll fill in for Josh here, Wrigley North. I also know some Brewers fans too. Shout out to all them boys.
That'll be on TBS. Very funny.
Do
Do they still say that? I don't even know if they
it
still
has an
say
opportunity
that.
to be very funny. Indeed. All right. Thank you, Peter.
Yes.
Thanks for being here. It was a fun Friday show. If you
Yes.
miss anything, 1620thezone.com is where you can find it. Stay tuned. The crossover is coming up next.